you've got bigger problems than trading. What happened to the? I just looked over and didn't even see
Randy
the other
threw it
pair.
over there, passing that ball over there.
I don't even know why I didn't notice that or did notice that just now.
Oh, hey, Josh Allen, how's it going? Oh, that's nice to know.
I don't even understand how we put a Josh Allen thing up after.
Josh Allen, we'll see you, but we'll see you next preseason, my guy. See you later.
Did that at me with the Josh Allen thing in it?
No, he did not. No, he did not.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sure he'll have fun watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we're in. Excuse me. Okay. We're in Palantir and Google, that's it, man. I mean, it's same kind of things. I'm glad Neil's in QNTM again as we go. But yeah, just buying some. Look, we lost on Palantir there. It actually finally breaks the 200 period. Then we hold it and we went back into the long. So just testing here. It is in a downward trend. I think it's pretty smart to play this pop and then start to get some out. That's a 1.0. Well, we're in it right now. What is it? $100.94. So that's that take right there, literally on the 200 period. There's us losing it. There's it coming back upside there, breaking again. We just put a stop order to buy it back through. And that was pretty good. So here's basically the hit starts at 101.30s, 101.10s, stopped out on the break, then bought back up there. So it's kind of like a nothing burger right here. It will be a net negative unless this starts to go. So we're going to try Palantir here. Down 2.5% as the NASDAQ, trying to hold green as well. What a battle back right there on the day. You know, volume's really decreasing here in the afternoon, but oh man, were they upside there as the market just took off today. You know, despite having bad numbers from Google, AMD, and the likes. I mean, there's more of them. You can still see, though, some battle backs there on the NASDAQ, and Google's still holding for it. We are long that name as well. We're long back down here at 190, so a couple good dip buy opportunities and out, dip buy opportunity and debating getting out. So Google pretty good today. Just interesting to see the NASDAQ up. While Google's down and Palantir's down and Meta.
It just goes to show, right? Like this is the kind of stock pickers market. What up? Meta actually got to a 700.
Meta was at 718.
Yeah. So, but Apple's doing a lot of heavy lifting, bouncing off VWAP. It probably, if we continue this, has a decent chance to go green, as you mentioned there. Meta, it did get down to 700. Did a bit of a, I don't know, like a fail of 700 and then a hold of 700 and still looking a little bit weak. It's weird because it's green, right? Like I showed you Apple. Apple's red. Apple's bouncing off VWAP and going higher. Meta's green. Meta's under VWAP and finding resistance at 706. So that's what we mean about picking the stocks and sometimes forget about the percentage it shows on the day and just look at the chart and what the trend is telling you. I'm glad you're back into Palantir. I actually I'm 2 for 4 on Palantir overall in areas. And I gave it back. I'm probably still slightly up on it, but when it lost VWAP here, I was in it, and it battled the 101. The 100 was okay a little bit earlier. So VWAP, no. 100, yes, is the way Palantir has been. I'm in this Quantum, Quantum Biopharma Limited. So it's
Long Island iced tea.
It's not a quantum stock. Yeah, the longs. What was that?
Long Island iced tea blockchain.
What was the ticker for that thing again? I don't remember.
Long Island iced tea.
This isn't that, but sometimes you get a little bit extra if you have quantum in the name. But it did a huge double top at 9, and then broke its trend. So I got into the short when it broke. Kind of like it did this and kind of like lost $9, and there's it breaking the trend. But it's doing a bit of a battle. So 9 to 850, looking for VWAP there. I don't think you reload it again because it's holding a higher low. So QNTM, I might have said MT. QNTM. It's going to be a wild one. I mean, the market's holding green. You have a lot of stocks that are looking strong here. And aftermarket, we've got a few more earnings to drop. Qualcomm, ARM, and and Strategy.
Oh, you just ruined my thing. I was going to talk about that. So we did have a complete name change today. The thing is, if you're going to have a strategy, a micro one, man.
Bitcoin strategy?
You know, you might as well just have a generic strategy. And I think that's what they have. And there it is right there, MicroStrategy. Adair dropped that. It was funny because he's like, oh, we have a breaking story. I'm like, the company changed its name. We had Square going to SQ to XYZ, and now you have MSTR. We'll keep that. But Adair, when she gets back. Oh, Instacart? No, it's Maple Bear, right? Yeah,
Maple Bear.
That's right. Good one, Ramin. She remembers. She was mentioning to us Maple Bear, right there as an example. But
I like that name. Maple Bear kind of sounds.
I think, and I don't mind strategy either
like
as a name. I just thought it was interesting that they come out and did that. So MSTR, no real movement there. That should not affect the price of the stock. All right, look, it's 205. Interesting to see Uber today. I mean, that's what I was saying. Like a lot of bad reports today. Like Uber's down. Well, the thing is, we did get a nice lift.
Chipotle, we didn't even talk about Chipotle.
Chipotle's another one there to the downside. And then, what else I want to talk about was, SMC. So there are some good shoots. There are some green shoots. We did have SMR, that's what it was. SMR, Oklo, names like that starting to go up to the upside. Anybody that's on a bear that's relatively big, Big Bear AI, today will do that. Roaring, that's Big Bear AI. That's not the bearish market.
Oh, you got to hit the gangster bear. Where's the?
I have the gangster bear.
Do I have it? I thought, or maybe I got rid of it because I didn't like it. I think I probably got rid of mine. No, I still have it. Mine,
More like the friendly one.
Mine's
where's the cocaine bear?
There's me.
Yeah, we have the same bear, man. We're both doing that.
Yeah.
What does this mean?
I
Yeah. If we were on that cocaine bear there, do you ever wind up watching that movie?
You know, I still haven't.
There was something, I saw something like Meth Head Shark or something. There was something I saw. Honestly, there is. There's something called like Meth Shark.
The problem is the original is Sharknado.
Sharknado, yeah.
That's
I think they made like 14 of those.
Ian Ziering, Beverly Hills.
Yeah, star-studded.
Yeah, and I forget what's her name?
Is MSTR reporting tonight? Yes, they are, I believe.
Yeah, MSTR was reporting tonight.
What? Who else is famous in that movie? Is there like Tiffany Amber Thiessen or something like that? Like some old...
Is that who it is?
I have no idea. I just dropped that name.
No, what's
I'm saying
I should remember. There's other people famous. It's now I can't remember her name.
Go Bayside.
Whatever. Someone will.
Beep, ba beep, ba beep, ba beep. Go Bayside.
I'm so excited.
Sharif.
Yes.
Bring us back to earth here, man.
Yeah. What?
Shout out to Kelly Kapowski, my favorite character on Saved by the Bell. Guys, welcome to the afternoon rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. You already saw the boys. They're locked, they're loaded, they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But you got to join Joe and I during the How to Trade show during the midday and get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. But only the top few make it on. And you got to be a sub in order to get into the chat. So let's have a look at the triple Qs first. The market going green here, defending 21,700 on the NQ March contract. This is a look at the triple Qs. We're up on the NASDAQ. Last time I looked about 1/4 point, as well as the ES. The Dow doing a little bit better, up 0.5%. And the Russ green on the day, beating them all up 1%. Let's have, though, a look at the first ticker, though, as decided by you, Google. An ugly looking chart, down still 7 3/4. It wasn't that bad of a report. They missed on a couple of things. It was mostly cloud and a little bit of a decrease in the growth of their advertising revenue.
Yeah.
I'm more of like a Jessie Spano. Is that what her last name?
You were just see. I was gonna say Lisa.
I'm really all about them all. To be honest with you.
I love that show.
Oh man, I wish our high school was like Bayside.
We were cool.
I went to the same high school.
We were cooler than Bayside.
Right,
No,
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
We weren't.
Yeah.
You know when you
Shout out to Brampton. Brampton represents.
You always think it's like you look back, you're like, oh yeah, we were chill, man. We were the ish high school. Then you look back, like you see some of the old pictures. It's like,
yeah.
nah.
No, not really.
Nah.
Yeah, shout out to Screech as well. I think Screech has passed.
Yeah, rest in peace,
well.
Dustin.
Diamond.
Yeah, rest
like the best. Like if you were to be like a stripper or something, Dustin Diamond. Like, but that's his name. I wonder if that was his birth name or he just went with that for showbiz or
That's
something.
got to be a showbiz name. I mean, I don't know, so I kind of has to.
I said to First Reef to bring us back here, then we just went way off the base again.
Dustin.
Okay, all right, so right now here, look, Google's going to be a flat name for me, and I kind of feel bad about it because we did have a win right here early. It was a great one, and then we gave it back trying to chase this. We didn't give it all back. I mean, we're in some trades now making some money right here, but again, it was a great trade early, and then it just happened. It's earnings season. It fell back off that pre-market high, and kind of like what Sharif was saying. Oops, I went the wrong way there. Kind of what I want to zoom out. Kind of what Sharif was saying. You know, small cap gappers. It's kind of the same rule. Like if you're underneath the pre-market high and underneath VWAP. And then now let's zoom this back in a little bit here. Like you really shouldn't, there's nothing in my studies that has been telling me that I'm supposed to be going long here. If anything, it's right here at a predefined low. So like this long, lost, bought some back, like make a little bit, yada, yada, lose. This one I'm fine with. This is a 189 take back. So I thought, get this garbage out of here. Let's go back through. We were right on that one. Unfortunately, it makes that break and then fade again. That's pretty much flat. And then all the way up, Google just made it all the way back. I know Joe had a trade in here in and around 181 or 189, 190. Nice move back up to the upside right here. And right now, I'm waiting at 190 clean VWAP. If we can get a dip down into here, I guess we should probably reload a little bit, but I'm looking for it to break through 190 with a stop a little lower than that. So I want to give it a little bit more love down here into 190, see if we can get that bid, and then work on it from there. So for right now, still long Google, not very many shares, definitely willing to reload it and probably put on a piece now, and then much more at 190. And then if we lose 190, whoops, then there's that top right there from 1130. If we lose, then we'll get out. And we'll just say, okay, Google, you're going to be down that 9 or 10%, and we'll see if there's a day 2 play back to the upside right there. Palantir, we'll get to that. No, we will not.
Okay.
It's just into there, 1013. So we buy that dip off the 200 period, getting a bunch out at VWAP. So let's not ignore that. We're right at VWAP. Let's take some more out here on Palantir. But yeah, that's my day.
We can activate some people's devices.
Yeah, we could say, hey, Siri. We could say, okay, Google. We could say, what's up, Alexa.
No, I was just sort of, no, just when you said it, I just got that in my head for a little bit there. No, you know what? I want to zoom in on this chart because like there's I think I made 2 mistakes. First, let me go over to QNTM because it's holding above VWAP, which is one of Sharif's. I just heard Sharif's rules on these small cap gappers. Remember I was saying this, almost a quantum name, QNTM broke trend, but it was battling here. But that's still holding higher lows. So we were shorting it at the 890 area. You were not getting anything better than the 50s and 60s. But once it breaks out that local top, like respect the fact that it's not going any further and just willing to jump out. Still up 35%. Volume's really not that great, but I don't mind jumping out of it. When it comes to Alphabet, tried a couple of reversions on this. I think we had the best one here is why it's not my worst stock of the day because we actually got a bottom wick. Even though we trailed out of it, it was still a decent enough move. It could have been the worst of the day. I'm with Sean on the VWAP, 190. I mean, that's essentially, this is the area that buying came in the aftermarket. 188 was the anchor that Brian was talking about. So as long as it's holding those types of levels, it looks pretty good. And we're not going to get a chance to talk about Apple, so just very quickly. Apple is pulling back off of the high. So if it can hold a prior high here, I think Apple has a decent chance to go green, especially if the market's taking out this top. So, I'd like to see this close this bar above 231, about 10 here. And if it can do that in the teens, Apple looking very, very strong. Google over VWAP as well, but Apple just did a bit of a jaunt off of VWAP here and wanting to recover the whole thing. Now let's talk about a name that will not recover it all today.
Unlikely, Neil. It's trading still near their lows. AMD reported yesterday in the aftermarket. It wasn't a bad report. What really stuck out was the data center revenue. That is essentially a synonym for AI, their AI business. It's down 7 3/4. Also, growth stopped a little bit or slowed down year over year. So keep your eye on AMD. At least it's off the lows, guys. Still down 7 3/4. But I just want to shout out my friend Kelly Kapowski. Not my friend, but whatever.
Yep, I mean, this is what we're doing.
That's what we're doing now?
Yeah, we talked about Saved by the Bell being one of the best shows pretty much of all time. So shout out to those guys. What's up, AC Slater?
We didn't even give any love to AC.
Baywatch. They only had Saved by the Bell, I think only had like 6 or 7 seasons. If you look, I feel like
it wasn't
people think there was a lot more than there actually
it wasn't on as long as you think.
Right there. Maybe not on as long.
There's one last thing about that. There's an episode on you're making me say Baywatch. On Saved by the Bell where there's a fight between AC and and Zach.
Oh yeah.
And like it was Like it was
fighting for Kelly?
They didn't script it. Like they didn't have, like it wasn't like this is what you do, like stunt double any of that nonsense. So they kind of were going at it and just sort of winging it. So when he's throwing him around, like it was actually pretty legitimate.
Yeah, he was a big dude, man.
And when you watch it back, because I watched it on YouTube, I was like, oh yeah, you kind of see that this wasn't one of those super choreographed, because it was how an awkward fight should be when a couple of teenagers.
Mario Lopez.
Not that they were teenagers when they fought. But AMD stinks. That said, it's trend up. So while we're down 8%, it's actually been trending higher today. You know, like there's no question about it. It's higher highs, higher lows. All okay outside of the early morning. I had one winning short. Actually, that's not true. I can't say I had one winning short. I had two. We had one here, and then we had one here. But I also shorted it there, and there. So that's like 2 for 5. Or actually, no, 2 for 6, because that was twice. Like 2 for 6 on AMD today and red. I liked it to the short pop into the prior high and into 110. So I took it mostly at the levels I like, and then VWAP. But it's just a recovery day for AMD. I still, like, my long term hasn't really changed on it until it breaks out this channel that it's in on the daily penalty box and look for maybe a trend into the bottom of this trend line, which, there you go. If you zoom out far enough, this bottom of the trend line now works out to like 95, but it can still break out this top. If we break out the top, you could be taking out the 50 period and breaking the trend to the upside, which it's been a hot minute since AMD's been able to do that. So I'm willing. I think it's going to be tradable if it ever breaks this trend out to the upside, and if it breaks the trend to the downside, well, yeah, that would stink. But we're not there just yet. 95 looks like it should be a place to buy the stock in the long term.
So, what stock? AMD. Yeah, we just got, like, I don't know what just happened to Palantir right there. I mean, I am connected. It's probably nothing. I mean, the futures didn't do anything either. But there it is. It just felt like we were just getting out in the 30s. It's only 30 cents. It's not like a major move, but we'll take advantage of that. I am also, just because it was just so dramatic right there, I'll always buy a little bit on those dips, just in case there's a retrace back up. But I was going to look right there, 1.0. I'm still waiting for this. So as we zoom in, just letting people know that down below here, $100, $100.80, something like that is where we will be dip buying this name. Okay, look, so I didn't trade anything there. The only trade that I made was Intel, and that was wrong. We wound up losing probably too much on it because we had more shares than we should have. But there goes Intel. It does make that move back into the low 50s again off of some of these shorts. We were able to make money, lose money. So short early, out and lost. Then we re-engaged in the short and won until 11:10 when it broke that top of basically 1960. But able to take a little bit of money off of it, not as bad as it could have been. But so my only play in the semis today was with Intel. And yeah, they had that news about a giga this or that with China. So quantum this and that. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening. I still like Intel for the long run and look at it above VWAP, above the 200 period and hanging out or close to the 50 anyways. I think this is a long, not a short, so should not have been short this name, but we were anyways, so lesson learned on that one. All right, Tesla next.
Before we get there, Hive Digital Technologies, that's HIVE on the NASDAQ, is pioneering the digital transformation through sustainable AI solutions and Bitcoin mining. A global leader in cutting-edge data center operations with over 2,700 Bitcoin on their balance sheet, Hive consistently tops the industry in Bitcoin mined per exahash and is redefining the future by powering the world's most transformative technology with efficient, green, and clean energy. Learn more by following them at Hive Digital Tech or at hivedigitaltech.com and sign up for the Hive newsletter for updates. Let's go back to Sharif.
Yeah, it's a tough day today for Tesla, guys. I mean, we're just a little bit off the low. We were down more than 3 1/3%. There's really no bad catalyst off it today, just selling off. Not really sure exactly what's going on, but Elon Musk reportedly going to meet Indian Prime Minister Modi later this month on the chopping block, on to be spoken about is Starlink as well as Tesla producing those cars in India. That is a caveat that Modi has made clear to Musk in the past. If he wants to sell his cars in India and not be subject to tariffs, he's got to build them there. So we'll have to see exactly what goes on. But I heard Neil say that his favorite was Lisa Turtle, so we're just going to have to shut her out.
What up, Lisa?
I better see some Jesse coming up there very, very soon. And And I'm talking about her later days. Okay, so TSLA.
You done know.
Right here. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about actresses and actors and everything like that. All right, so Tesla right here. Nice move to the downside, 388 and change. I mean, so this morning, I had wrote down Tesla here, 390 short. I mean, looking back at it, why were we even doing anything else? I mean, there is here in the beginning of the day. You don't get it. We had talked about this earlier but that short sort of just has been there all day. You know, you did have an instant move and then a nice retracement back. Now, the thing that we zoom back out about here is if we go over to a 5-minute chart right here, it's just about trying to hold these levels. So if you zoom back a little bit, you know, it's not horrible. To think about trying to hold something here for Tesla. It doesn't really fit my personality to hold something, as you guys know, $3, $4, $5 down, but you know, it's there for the trade. So I'm not necessarily worried about Tesla longs versus shorts or even really trading this right now. It's pretty stuck in a range. I'd rather us, again, try to buy something down here, 370, 4, 5, 6, and then hold it to see if we break finally, or you just kind of play with the momentum, right? Yesterday afternoon, the momentum was up. Today, momentum is down. So I think you still play the fade on Tesla, long story short. This 200 period right here could be something at 385. Watching the 50 period keep going to the downside as well, 382. So yeah, just a bunch of fades here in Tesla is what I'm feeling right now. So yeah, some nice downside plays there. Tesla, I think it's great. Tariff talk, not the greatest.
No, and for that Starlink, and we were just talking about it in the chat, like that Starlink deal with Ontario, which is a province, kind of like a state, the largest one here by population and economy, that deal is going to go back on as long as the tariffs aren't there. So it's not that it's a huge deal. Just quickly, Apple lost 231, so out. I'm still looking for a VWAP dip. If we get down to, it's about 230, but VWAP's more like 229.75 or so. But if we get a dip that far, I'm buying at some Apple. I'm with Sean. Like the levels have been really established here on Tesla. If we do lose 375, I think you probably enter a really interesting buying opportunity for Tesla. And you know, when you have lower highs going into a flat bottom, my default is, until proven otherwise, be prepared for the move down and start thinking like 325 to 340 would be a nice area to jump back into. So yeah, that's kind of what I feel about Tesla. Today for the day trade, I think Apple looks a little bit stronger for sure. Apple looks strong. I don't think this is the one today. With the market at the highs, if you're at the lows and trending down, the only thing I would consider is remember at 3 o'clock for the last 2 days, there's been some buyers in Power Hour on Tesla. You see the program kick in after 3 o'clock, who cares? If it starts doing any of this nonsense, just try to join it, maybe catch a local breakout. You saw what it did yesterday. It did it 2 days ago as well. So that's a different story if we get that same program buying in Power Hour. Sharif?
47 and going % right now on Big Bear AI, one that I was involved in during the How to Trade show during the midday. It is not at the highs quite yet, up at that 7.25 on the back of this headline. Looks like they're going to get a Department of Defense contract to advance AI-powered threat detection systems. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Big Bear AI, big move today. We'll watch out for continuation play tomorrow. And we got to shout out, obviously, Jesse Spano, the smart one of the bunch, guys. Shout out to Jesse.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no doubt that I'm interested in the smart one, because this is what I'm saying. It's got to counteract. I need someone to make the right decision. So
the most famous scene in the show history, I think, it was was it amphetamines? Yeah, I'm so excited. She was on amphetamines. I feel like that was a case of the bad acting made it good.
A lot of caffeine.
That's what it's all about.
Apparently someone said they only had 4 seasons, apparently.
It was caffeine?
I have no idea. I don't even recall.
Caffeine pills? She wasn't on amphetamine? Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's high school. See, Fresh Prince did it real. Like, Carlton was on some on some neck
stuff.
Yeah, it was caffeine pills. Oh, okay.
I don't know. I was just
my
making
memory
that
of that show is just wow, very different. I thought it was hard. Anyways, it doesn't matter. BBAI, I made one trade on it several times.
Well, you thought it was meth or something?
Well, I thought it was a stronger drug. Like she's freaking out. She's like, caffeine.
My lips are way too chapped.
Teenagers have caffeine all the time now. Like. Am I wrong? Like No,
I was having espressos at a very younger age.
Yeah, like in high school, people before exams, like everyone was having coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's.
I mean, our friend used to come to our house and have espresso shots out of the coffee machine.
Yeah, because you guys did it right. Sean's house was close to our high school, so sometimes at lunch you'd be able to pop by, not swim, but grab some food, chill out.
Right. Not swim, yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I never got to swim during school hours.
That would have been fun to do, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. Anyways, BBAI, it was very similar to QNTM just now, where a long upward trend, maybe not as parabolic, pulled back, held a higher low. There was a battle here underneath $7.
Okay,
so scalp, and then it finally broke back out. So I'm not trading it. I heard someone in the chat earlier, saw someone in the chat say something about Martin Shkreli is short this stock. Just let me know. Send me a link on that, man. If he is, I'd like to hear the details as to where and all that stuff, because maybe there's a squeeze happening on BBAI. But it was very programmed buy, and I thought after it broke down, pull back, tight stops under 7 into VWAP. But it just kind of gave you 10, 20 cents at a time before breaking back out here on BBAI. So I probably don't trade it unless it fails under 7 again, and then maybe look for the same trade.
Just really quickly here, we do get that little dip down in Google. We are waiting to get, okay, just got some out at 15 there, so it does dip in here. Google with the move down into VWAP. It actually took VWAP. We were waiting at 190, so that's what we have. We're long at 190.06 right here on Google, and looking honestly to get a little bit out. Like if we can pop through, I do have an offer now at 20s. We just got 2 outs there at 15s. It's just the market is retracing back into the 50-period moving average, so we'll have to wait to see what it wants to do, because for right now, it's looking like it wants southbound action in the market. As not too worried. We looked at the Qs before, and I've talked about this. I feel like we took that level right there. Remember when we were down here? I'm like, wow, this is maybe where you want to go short. Well, it tried and then bounced completely off of this on the triple Qs, 525. So now it looks like you want to go upside on the NASDAQ. Look at this on a 30-minute chart. I mean, this is 10 or so straight candles up there on a 30-minute chart. You often don't see that kind of momentum. And when you do, there's that gap. So you could potentially see a move higher here. There's not really big earnings tonight, we mentioned, right? Is there a needle mover stock? Because
I think
can something really change the direction?
So, okay, so two things. MSTRs, any move MSTR does can have an effect on crypto in general. But I think ARM's the only one. ARM is certainly the kind of stock that can lead to bleed elsewhere. Yeah, maybe not the way that we saw tonight or last night, but yeah, I would have to say ARM has a decent chance to move things around, especially because it's a really high valuation. If they ever punish ARM with a 15 or 20% down day, I think that's going to bleed around for sure. But I mean, we'll find out after 4 o'clock when they do report. They're the big one that's reporting tonight. And Qualcomm sometimes can be a little bit of a bellwether for handsets and all that stuff. So maybe it'll move Apple a little bit, but Apple got its own issues. Uber,
Palantir's
I didn't look back over at Uber because I didn't realize it was back at this bottom. Let's talk a little bit about the ride-hailing company.
Ooh.
I don't know.
All right, Uber coming into lows, guys. Wow, we could not catch a bid today on Uber. Back down 8 2/3 in the negative. They reported this morning. Look, it wasn't that bad of a report. We saw gross bookings drop a little bit. We also saw freight really kind of remain flat year over year, but they had good growth with food delivery as well as ride-hailing, guys. So we'll have to see if this defends that $60 level that it's been defending for weeks now on Uber. So we'll give that one a look, guys. And do you guys remember Tori? She took over from I think when Kelly Kapowski and what's her name? I forgot the other one. She replaced them over here. So yes, shout out to Tori.
No.
No, I wouldn't. I remember her face. I wouldn't have known the name if you didn't say it, but I remember the face.
Sure, no.
I remember the face. But
She was in Saved by the Bell?
Yeah. It wasn't very long. It wasn't very long.
I have no idea.
What a...
So
yeah.
Palantir went on a run there a little bit, and Google went the other way to the downside.
Market's coming back.
Okay.
Heyo.
Oh my, that's hilarious. So that the gentleman from Hive, what was his name again? Kevin.
I pulled the blue because I'm wearing blue.
I was like, yo, man, send me some of this Hive gear right there. Nice.
Or we could do like this.
Ramin wants one.
Nah, it's not how I'm rolling. It's not how we're
Ramin, you can have the blue one, okay? Sharif.
Team blue, Ramin, team blue.
You want one of these?
Absolutely.
Here, you choose, and then Ramin can have the other one.
I want blue.
Ouch.
Yo, seriously?
Ouch.
Come on, man. You heard Ramin say she wants the blue.
I swear to God I didn't.
Okay, so Sharif is...
Ouch, Sharif.
If I did,
Sharif is saying
Minutes
that he
before,
did
I
not
said, I'll
hear
just give the blue to Ramin.
Ramin literally yelled out from the production stage saying, "I want blue."
The thing is, at least now when we get this like workplace complaint, we do
Bully. HR complaint right now. The bullying is not allowed here at Trader TV.
Well,
Live.
Neil could also just give her your...
I kind of already put it on.
I'm okay with the cleanliness of your head, I think.
I think that's yeah. I hope
Yeah,
so.
I mean,
it's nice of you to say, but I'm already wearing it.
Okay. No, I don't. Hey, no.
I like the
No problem.
Good luck.
I mean, the thing is, Brendan didn't get one now.
Brendan's
Brendan
cool
has a
with
special
it.
one. He has a platinum edition.
Yeah, Brendan's like he's not. It's cool. I'm good.
Brendan has... man,
Uber.
Too funny. Get it, Brendan.
Uber just tested low a day on volume right now. So second biggest volume outside of the open, second biggest volume event on a test of the low. This does feel like it might make a run at that 10% move to the downside, especially with the market at highs and it's consolidating off the bottom. So if we break back down underneath, oh man, it does look like it's a bit of a short. I'm with Sharif.
Oh, Fed is talking.
60 is the level on Uber. Like if it loses this, look for it to settle at 60. And even if it breaks 60, just look at these wicks in the mid 50s on Uber. Like those are monster rejections underneath the 60 level in the mid 50s. So there's some serious buying areas that this could get down into on Uber if it does fail the current low of the day. Who is the Fed?
There's Goolsby. Like I'm thinking about getting out now. So Goolsby's talking right now. He's talking about how tariffs are bad for outlook here. Inflation's approaching the target. There's a whole bunch of stuff happening right now with Fed's Goolsby. So we're still into this. Google, and it's right here, right now at 189.85. I immediately went over to the futures there to have a quick look to see if there's anything going on. So it looks like we did get a little bit of a spike down there, and then now it looks like it may continue a little bit, but we are long Google and debating just getting out until we but until this kind of settles down a little bit here with Goolsby. So
You can say until he shuts up.
no, it's not that. It's just like, yeah, until he shuts up, basically, because at the end of the day, it's like we don't want to be exposed to different events here that have nothing to do with individual stocks. So, all right, let's go to Adara. She's listening.
Next year on Fed's Goolsby, and it's worth noting none of this is like super bearish, but it is notably much more bearish than he has been as of late. Or hawkish is the word I'm looking for. Basically, he is a little bit cautious about tariffs. He's saying that the tariffs could be broader and higher than what we saw in 2018. And he said their impact could be larger and longer lasting. But he did say that it really does depend here on how much these tariffs would get passed into prices. However, I think the biggest thing to note here is that he said, and I quote, ignoring potential consequences of new threats to supply chains like tariffs would be a mistake. So he's saying that the Fed is and will be very cautious of these tariffs going forward. I think that's really key here, guys. Back to you.
Right. Well, I mean, if you're in control of money supply and whatnot, you should be very, very cautious of current
the
trade
thing that
ongoing.
the thing that actually
because tariffs are real.
Contribute. No, but money supply contributes to inflation way more than tariffs would.
Exactly.
You know, like that's economics one.
I mean, and if they get to their target inflation and then they feel like tariffs have another big play on the economy, then maybe now the Fed is going to be once again matter at some point, but we'll wait to see here. So it's not, to me, when we look at news and you look at stories that hit like that, you know, if anything dramatic would ever happen, you would see sometimes like there's a lot of liquidity that will dry up in the market, and you'll see all of a sudden flashes down one way or the other. And I'm not really seeing that right now. Again, just
my trade rate thing is a
yeah. There's really nothing blowing up right now. The biggest name on the trade right now is Big Bear AI, and then you also have
Uber's on it.
Uber right now hitting as well. I was just going to say the same thing because there goes Uber. So Uber losing itself right now, kind of like Eminem. There it goes to the song. You know, lose yourself.
Do you though, Sharif?
I said to Ramin, I was like, I need to figure something out here because I just sit here and trade and talk. And okay, it's 63.50 to the downside. Yeah, Uber right now. Maybe it's just an SSR bounce. We already tried it here early. We're able to make money on it. No, so we're a cup of coffee. We're a couple rides away from being a positive on Uber, but nice downside move there. It looks like it wants to break even lower right now. Underneath everything. Again, on earnings, just let things settle down. There's 930, there's VWAP, there's VWAP again, there's VWAP again, and downside. So yeah, I mean, sometimes it's not really like, forget about this. This is pre-market. There's where the market opens up. Whether or not you go short right off the jump or not, that's just a great call if you're short, so that's good. But then right into here, 950 to 945, you get that retracement right back into VWAP right there. And instead, I sit here at this low and think about going long. You know, you should be going short. You should actually almost be looking to go short on that breakdown. But then if you went short on the breakdown, that also really doesn't work. So it's almost like wait for VWAP, and then AMD, I was going to say, this is going to go oops, that's a NASDAQ name. I can't change it on the chart. I'll have to go back here and change it. But AMD, I was going to say the other way around here. It was sort of, and we looked at this one, see you, Sharif. We looked at this one. Thanks for the memory lane there with Saved by the Bell. But there's VWAP. It wasn't really anything all morning. It was back and forth. We talked about how choppy it was. So I'm not going to sit here and say, wow, look at that great VWAP break to the upside, because it broke numerous times. So that's kind of the difference when you're looking at stocks, and that is that to try to figure out the name of the game on that particular stock that day. So like today, maybe you don't get involved in the 200 period until you break it, and then there it is again. So maybe something there on AMD as it's looking pretty good. And Neil, here
when it respects it, it respects it. I got into
Google.
I got into a reversion trade this time on Apple. So we tried 31 and on that Goolsby talk. It trended down, it broke trend, it held, so I took the prior bar high here at 70. We'll give it to the low with at 50.
The dreaded Goolsby
Just risking 20, 25 pennies on each one of these. But we got a couple of super chats here. So sorry, Rohit Sharma and DJ Quill. What up, DJ?
What up, DJ?
DJ is asking about the overall chart analysis on BlackBerry. That's an interesting one. Yeah, that's an interesting one. And is iBit a good buy at 55 level?
Yes.
So here's the thing. I am a buy and hold for Bitcoin. So it's going to be difficult if you're talking about a trade, it's always different. For the long term, yes, in my opinion, because this consolidation in the long term, if I wasn't already in, and I guess I am stink bidding, my current stink bid's actually underneath 90. I thought we'd get a run at that 88 level again. And these iBit prices are obviously different. But I think if you haven't added in this consolidation and you're a long-term player, then buying the dips would make some sense. Now, 55, is it the absolute bottom recently? Well, we've been getting better than that every time we dip. So you can make the argument that buying at 52 has been better because you've been getting that price, or like 53. Buy those liquidation type events and be a little bit more patient about it. But yeah, it just comes down to your outlook. I think if you're short term, you want to be very particular about those prices, because we are in a very distinct range. Like, look how long we held the consolidation before this recent breakout. This top got made in March of 2024. We broke it out in November. So if we're in that kind of a range, maybe 52 matters more to you. That 5 to 6% means a lot. And if you're just short-term trading it, I think you wait for the better price. Long-term, you get to go pretty much anywhere. As far as BlackBerry goes, it's not a super highly shorted stock anymore. So it's not the runner in terms of squeeze that it would normally be, but it's on one. Shout out to formerly the #1 tech company in Canada. That title is a curse. Shout out to Shopify for making sure that they don't fall for that curse yet. But you're on another breakout here in BlackBerry. I do feel when you look at this sort of rounded bottom, you're getting into a zone that could provide some problems. To say that there might be some bag holders in the high fives or in the mid fives is an understatement here, because you're talking about 2022 tops, 2023 tops, and never saw this in 2024. So you're going to run into some troubles in here. Like if you have, there's no long that you would have on a swing that I would have on a swing that I wouldn't be covering a piece between 5 and 550. Like I would never trade something like this to the long side on a break here, on a break here, on a break there, on a break here that I wouldn't be covering in front of 550. Unless you know something about them fundamentally that I don't. Let's go to Adair.
Be aware here. MindMed on watch, MNMD getting a massive pop. There was a bit of a bullish post here from Zero Hedge on X, pretty popular account. Really, I can only describe this as a post trying to pump MindMed. They basically said that MindMed could be the next Oklo, citing apparently the fact that we do have a huge short interest. I checked, it's about 38.2% short float. And also saying that if RFK Jr. does get appointed to the Health and Human Services Department role, which Zero Hedge suspects that he will if this happens, we know RFK Jr. is very bullish and very pro-psychedelic, so that would be a good look for the space. So basically, Zero Hedge just posting a note here about MNMD pumping the stock. It did work here. We have a nice push to the upside for MindMed, which again does have a 38.2% short float. Back to you.
So, you know, that's nothing against, like, BlackBerry's chart actually looks better than MindMed's. But 38% versus, what did I say for BlackBerry?
MindMed was another Canadian company.
I didn't say 5% for BlackBerry. But yeah, MNMD, that is one. We were talking about this yesterday. Someone's like, hey, Neil, your MindMed's moving. No, I have some MindMed shares from, I don't know, 70% ago. I don't know the exact number, but it's probably really bad. It's not a huge position, but it's like enough that I should have taken it out a long time ago, but I didn't. I just kind of held on. But it is making a nice power move on MNMD. I was just pulling up just drawing the daily chart down there. Because like BlackBerry, it is running into a resistance zone. Like, look at the wall that I shouldn't say will be there, but has been there at $10 for quite some time. So I think you got to respect that. The market's trying to get back higher.
Gold, right.
I mean, Apple's battling with the 90s at this point, so it's gone 15 pennies, needs to make the next press through 21, get back to where it was when we tried it the first time. But the other stock worth watching, I mean, there's a lot of stocks worth watching. Look at NVIDIA.
Let's go.
NVIDIA's starting to go as well. Alphabet making a move. Yeah, the market's trying to bounce up here. I still like BBAI, and I might short that stock, though.
Finally. Okay, I see you now. There it is, man. That was a bigger trade that I would have, like, that I was feeling comfortable with, honestly, there. Like, I have too many outs, for sure. Like, that market came in there, and I don't know, like, we were very, very close to getting stopped out, like, breaking through 70s. Like, my stop is actually a 69 break. Like, we're a couple pennies away from that one, so oh my. Good job to get that. I mean, I wish I would have got more out there at 15s, but wow, I was not really expecting that kind of a move to the backside there on Google. So far, so good there. I think that we are getting a little bit excited about it. It needs to still go a little bit higher to make everything completely back here, but that's a good move. Now 25 cents in the money. Palantir also trying to make that move higher right now as the futures are not doing anything. And again, we talk about this all the time. Join us in the after show, the market recap show with all the earnings. It's like, the moves are there, but Google, even though, like, again, today is a different day because of the way these stocks are moving, but Google's still down 8%. When we came here today, I mean, this is where we opened. We were down 8% on Google, and it's kind of the same thing. So although you go up, down, and around, probably, I'll tell you how many fills we have here, probably way too many, 99 fills. So
one more.
It looks like, yeah, one more. We catch the great one there. Ovechkin got another goal yesterday, by the way. It's 17 away from overtaking.
That's so
Gretzky.
epic.
So yeah, that's pretty epic right there. He's an old dude too, and still catching some goals. But the thing is, he plays like every power play. He got an empty netter. He scored yesterday with 0.5 seconds left. Like, he's on every single time there's an empty netter, and good for him. I mean, that's good. And now they're pulling the goalies way earlier now in the NHL, so it's providing a lot more opportunity for that. All right, Google's coming back now. I'm going to try to deal with it, but yeah, it's 244.
It's the biggest record. Like, the one that comes to mind in terms of just the scope of it, there's LeBron all-time points, there's Cal Ripken's streak, him beating Gretzky is up in that echelon, passing it. That's just an unbelievable.
Not just for goals. I mean,
no, but like, but the goal record's insane. Like, the point record, forget about it. You can, no one's catching him, but Yeah, it's just, it shows his perseverance. I'm not a huge hockey guy, but Ovi, there's not much you can say. I was always more of an Ovi than Sid. I just liked his game. I'm not saying he's better than Sid overall. I just liked his game better.
Yeah.
Like I would much rather
most
enjoy.
Canadians would like a Russian over Canadian.
Well, I know it's a little controversial to say that as a Canadian, but I just liked his game better. I enjoyed watching him play a little bit more. So I did take this reversion in Big Bear AI, which for some reason decides to be on the NASDAQ, or New York, sorry. Like, you're a small cap, you got AI in the name, you do runs like this, you should be a NASDAQ stock. It doesn't make sense that it's on the New York. So I'm going to probably keystroke that a few times when I'm typing in the symbol on the main chat. But there's a trend up since we were in it last time. It broke trend. Prior high is like 735. So if it breaks that, I'm going to be out. I just gave a double check over at AMD. And it was so strong all day. I kind of looked over at NVIDIA starting to go. I kind of thought AMD would pick it back up. It's not. So I feel as the chip names go, NVIDIA looking okay. It's not blowing it out of the water. Nothing is popping off on the trade rate right here. So there's nothing that's screaming at you that it's going to be the one in terms of volatility. The Hawk likes Mike Bossy.
Of course.
Yeah, he was another legend.
He's one of the best.
I was like now that I'm going to say non-Canadians that I was a fan of, my favorite non-Canadian player growing up was Pat LaFontaine. I think, yeah.
That's a good one.
Easy.
Yeah, I loved the Sabres there. LaFontaine and McGillney was my jam. That's for sure. I never used the slip chat, but Okay, all right, so just quickly here. I was trying to find something else to trade a little bit. Going through, I was trying to see if anybody on the chat was giving us any new names, so please put them in there if you do have any ideas on what you're looking at as well. I'm going to hold off now. We're out of about 2/3 of Google. It'll be basically a flat stock for me today. Probably should have been traded a little bit better, but I'm still pretty happy with what we've been doing. Obviously, we talked about Palantir holding the day, and it still is the case right now. We did have one mistake on Palantir. We talked about that right there. Nothing else today was a problem for us. Goodbye. And then a bad one right there at 101. But this was really quick, man. 101.15 out 101.99. So that was a good one. That was about 20 cents worth of a hit. And then again, just in the last little while, trying to buy off the 200 period. We'll see if it can do anything with that as well. And we'll see about Google going up. So Big Bear AI, I mean, we didn't look at this yet today here, but I know they were talking about it on the midday. So thanks to Sharif and Joe for that. Yeah, look how good that is off that 200 period moving average. I mean, just looking at it right now, my eyes are always on the side here because I want Google to hold this 190 and debating getting some more shares if it does. But yeah, Big Bear definitely holding that. And I'm thinking right now when you're looking at a stock, this is kind of like, all right, you see this, that's FOMO, you miss it. Look at the 50 period moving average. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, if this is a ride at Cedar Fair or whatever, like up, boom, breaks it there. Then enjoy your ride down. And now it looks like we're doing, like, it's doing the exact same thing again. So, I mean, wait for it to break, then wait for it to take it, it looks like, on Big Bear AI. So, like, I'm not... Oh, Google, man, this is like a day changer for me on Google, by the way. Putting a little bit of money back in the pocket here on a 40-cent rip, which is nice for me on Google. Yeah, so I just think like this is pretty easy trading, right? Follow the yellow brick road, and of course it's pink in this situation, and then all of a sudden breaks and all the way down, then follow it again all the way up. So I'm wondering if the next play, and those of you that are long aren't going to like this, but maybe the next play is wait until we break again, and or you may like this one. Why? Let's go long. I think we can go long here. What about breaking 750 right there, then using our 50-period moving average as our stopping spot? So I like that play. Let's do a little bit of work here on Big Bear. Let's just see what it looks like on the level 2 first of all. So lots of size there, no problem with that. Obviously, approaching 300 million shares. Liquidity is not going to be a problem. Let me see what the short float is on BBAI. Where's Adara? What was the news on this again, Adara, if you have a second? On Big Bear, I could just look it up. Oh, here, company announced contract by the Department of Justice. Okay, so obviously there you go. Welcome to Palantir's land right now as you get more government contracts. All right, so I don't have any information right here on, okay, institutional ownership, 9%. It doesn't have a short float. Normally it's right into here. So I don't have it right here on Big Bear, but I'm sure I'm sure it's somewhere. We'll be able to find it. So yeah, nice move upside. So I don't like. I kind of like that play that we just discussed right there on Big Bear breaking out that top. 22%. Okay, so good enough. 750 or something break. Let's take that. That's 754. We take that and then we use the 50 period as our out. Google's really making them sing right now. So we're taking some more outs at VWAP at 190.15. What's up, A?
Here's the deal with Big Bear AI. So yeah, it did receive a contract here from the Department of Defense, but it's specifically not just the Department of Defense in general, it's specifically their Chief Digital and Artificial Intelligence Office. The financial terms of this arrangement were not disclosed, and I do think it's also worth noting the very hefty short float that BBAI has. As of right now, I'm seeing about 21.7%. This is also a ticker that gets a lot of retail attention, so BBAI certainly has squeeze potential. It's squeezed in the past and today here. Great move to the upside on that contract news, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, it's squeezed. The market might not be doing anything, but when it broke that prior bar high, come to my chart for a second. So when it broke the prior bar high, that's the trade. It's similar. It's not the same as here because that was more of a resistance at 7, but this is a trend trade. If it does not go, you get out. Trending up for a reason on Big Bear. What is Apple doing? Oh, Big Bear's on the New York, so Apple, here, I'll do this. We'll wait, gotta wait 25 seconds. So Apple just got right back into the quarters. It did a reversion as well, so we got in, give it to the prior bar bottom. If it fails the top again, no issues jumping out of this. There's not a lot of volatility and volume on this move. Like you can see it trending up. We don't have a ton of volume carrying us up, whether it's the futures, whether it's individually here in Apple. I've been looking at Nvidia as well. So you're kind of drifting into the high, into these highs here on Apple. Nothing blowing it out of the water right now. I want to see something take out the top and just explode, or at least trend strongly into the top. And with only 10 minutes to go, so remind everybody, Tesla has not had a very great day, but
are we expecting something in 10 minutes?
Well, it's just the last couple of days. There's been some buying on Tesla at the end. It was very late 2 days ago, but it was right at, it was at 3 o'clock yesterday, but it was also at VWAP yesterday. So the fact that there was a buyer right at 3 o'clock could have had just as much to do with VWAP. But if we start to see Tesla going and you get a few of those big green candles in a row, look for like a local high break, maybe in here or maybe a VWAP. Just because we've seen it happen in the past. It's trending down. I don't think it's breaking the trend just yet. So you got to be a little bit careful. I'm not anticipating it's going to happen. Like I wouldn't go long. And then be like, where's the buyer in Tesla? No, I think it's more of a join the trade situation. Jimmy Donnelly saying, look at B hats. I don't mind doing that. What's Blue Hat saying? Oh my goodness, not
B hat.
Well, okay, so it's
heard of that name.
120 million is not bad for a penny stock, but almost like look at how much of that volume occurred right in the middle of the day there. So right now, it doesn't seem to be doing enough volume for a penny stock to give you a lot of opportunity, which is sort of the deal. Like you want to be doing hundreds of millions of shares, but it needs to be in a volume spike to want to get involved, and not really doing much yet. Could get off the schneid again, but until I see the volume increasing, that's a no for me on the penny stocks.
We're having a little bit of an issue here because the stocks are falling back in, which is fine. We're about to put on 5 times the size of Palantir's, what we have right now, because we're right into the 200. I'm just waiting for a little bit lower because I want to play off that wick. So if I'm going to play big size, I only want to give it like 10, 15 cents. So we're actually waiting down at $100.80. I'm actually going to put it maybe a little bit, maybe like $100.82 or something like that, just to get some more shares down here. Well, it's not going to be like, I don't want to chase a falling knife, so it's not like it's going to be like a monstrous amount of shares or anything there. We actually just take an opportunity to get some out again at 101.05, just so we don't have to hold this too much against us if it does blast through. So taking out a little bit more pressure there because the idea is to get long. I hope we just didn't miss that. Like it just went down to 92 there on Palantir. I'm waiting at 80s, now at 82. Again, I like the trade. We'll see what happens. Google, we talked about only being in a third. Since then, we've gotten more out, obviously, on Google. As this is coming right back in, I'm not reloading this. There it goes. The NASDAQ is breaking, so forget about it. Fine. I mean, I'm actually pretty happy with that trade there on Google. Obviously, I don't like that it came back in, but to get out of 2/3 up here and then lose, basically our long was what, 80s, and we just lost at 69, so about 11 cents on the wrong way there. Completely fine. That was a pretty good trade. Would have liked it to have kept going. It did not. So I just lost all the memory on my computer, and I don't even have YouTube going. No, so I'm going to open it up now. I just realized I lost the chat, but yeah. So there goes Google. See what I'm saying? Like, this is why
Apple same time.
Yeah, like when the market loses it, it's not worth. Like, you don't need to be stubborn, especially these days with it. We've reloaded lost trades before and got them back, but not today. Not on a name that's reported, right? So we'll have to wait to see. But Google right now, forget about it. I'm not going to chase that long anymore. There was an opportunity to get back to the long side. I felt like these bottoms, like this, should have been much better. These were fine all the way up, but there's no continuation, and just now you're fading out. So yeah, I want to stay short. Maybe look over at a weaker name, and we're going to have to try to do that.
Uber is weak.
Uber's weak. Well, there's, I mean, I kind of want to stay away from earnings names like Google, AMD, Uber, Snapchat. Like, talk about how bad this market is today. All the names, that's why I was like, the market's green. Like, all these names that reported today, Snapchat, and I know they're not huge in the NASDAQ or the S&P, but down 8%, right? AMD, again, down 8%. I think so. Yeah, 8, right? Google, we just looked at it, down 8%. Uber was another name that reported today, down 8 or 9%, right there for Google. Things going to the downside. Palantir on day 2, obviously up 23% yesterday, but today, as we hold on by very, very small amounts, we just get some Palantir right here, they're down 3% today as well. So yeah, man, blood in these streets for sure. Palantir, if this loses 60, 70s, we're out of this one as well.
I know what stock that's up.
I mean, there's some stocks that are.
No, I know there's lots of stocks.
NVIDIA's up 5%.
It was Chris Arntz has been asking about Boeing, so I'm going to get there in a second. But trend in, trend out here on Apple. Like, it was almost like this broke trend. The exact moment that when I heard Sean say he's out of Google, this broke trend. So it trended down, back in, and then broke trend. It's not a huge range this afternoon on the stock. Like, since the move up, it basically pulled back about 80 cents, and then it popped up about 60 pennies. So that's Apple's range. Boeing is a strong stock today and I don't know if I didn't hear anything on Boeing. It's just up 2.5%. The good news for Boeing, and has been good news, is it has all the respect in the world for the 200-period moving average right now. And it is consolidating for a breakout on Boeing. Candidly, I did recently buy some when it regained the 50, but here's your breakout. It's about 182, 183. There's a lot of wicks up here. That one's kind of rubbish, but it's more like the 182 solidly for resistance. And if it gets that, next stop, 192 was the next resistance spot on Boeing. So this is on watch to take off potentially. I guess it could happen tomorrow. It could happen next week. But yeah, like Boeing in here. Strong stock. I don't know if it has a volume to trade it this afternoon. Like, look at the range. What do you do with this? Like, you could look at this range. You could be looking for a dip of 30 to 40 cents and stay on trend and scalp that. But then if you're doing that, you should trade something like an Apple because its spread is 1 cent and Boeing's spread is 6 to 10 cents at a time sometimes. So if you're going to scalp a stock for 30, 40 pennies, it probably shouldn't be one with a 5 to 10 cent spread. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. You want to do that with a 1 cent spread. So I wouldn't, as much as it's strong, it doesn't provide a lot of opportunities unless there's some kind of a fade trade in there, which I don't want to do. Yeah, the daily chart, a little bit better than what we're looking at here.
Yeah, all right, so trying to be a little bit stubborn, but not so much here as we got out of the majority of our Palantir position right now, but it is breaking lower, man. Watch out for this $100.50 level. We were part of our plan was to get out. So once it breaks 70, there's our marker to get out. You can still see we're holding a little bit here at 70 as it's right back into this 50 area. Futures seem to be fine right now, but again, it's these earnings names that really continue to fall down. So I don't really want to switch over to the futures because there's nothing really happening here.
I know why we're dropping.
Other than the fact that we did just get that. Bitcoin's been holding too, right? 84 and change right now, maybe for the futures, for the TQs. If we lose it, I could see that's underneath the 200 period then. Maybe that could be the trade, right? I mean, we kind of stuck under there for a minute and then blasted off of that. So there could be a trade there as well. I'm not seeing the board enough right now to be able to make a call. I mean, the NASDAQ is down 0.17. I don't think it's worth layering into anything. We got stopped out of our Google there. And then the Palantir is just like teetering right now.
Watch out, Sean. The Waffle House just announced it's temporarily increasing the price of eggs at its U.S. restaurants by 50
eggs
cents.
are getting really expensive. I mean,
Sharif is going to have, he's going to be on one if egg prices go up again. I'll tell you that much. This dude eats like.
I thought he had an egg guy. Doesn't he have an egg guy?
Oh, he better have an egg guy with the 12 eggs he eats.
No, it's Brendan has the egg guy. My bad.
Brendan's got an egg guy?
Brendan had an egg guy. Yeah. I remember from the podcast. Told him to hook me up.
It was nice to have an egg guy. I need a cannoli guy. That's what I need.
Oh, I have lots. Yeah, there's lots of cannoli guys.
I remember the good old days
Palantir
when Sean brought cannolis to the. No, just
yeah, I remember those days. Yeah, that's.
It was like twice. Yeah, they were really.
Those were the good old days there.
Oh my God.
Well, I just Palantir could be the next BTC at 100K. So where was that? Right here, Dragos. Well, you just mean that like it's run up to a level. It's like a key level, and now it could bounce off of that. Yeah, I think that could be right about $100 on Palantir for sure. I mean, even the most bullish of Palantir traders, I mean, you got to be somewhat happy with the performance of Palantir.
I'd hope so.
And if you're not, man, I mean, there is always exuberance that comes out of a name, that goes back into a name, comes out of the name and back into the name. And, for now right here, I could see it losing a little bit of steam here at $100 for sure. I don't think that that's like saying anything out of line, and I think that could be a great call.
Whoa.
So, here as day traders, Neil and I have the great honor of trying to, again, sort of facilitate intraday moves, which can be hard to look for and to figure out. But, as far as a pullback in, I can't hate anybody that would say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go short here just in case, because a lot of the most hyped up names do have the biggest gaps to fill. And, I wouldn't be surprised to see this back into the 80s again. It's just a matter of like what, there's going to be there has to be obviously downgrades. There has to be something that happens to this name because it's not going to be an earnings play. That's already passed. They've already guided ahead of expectation. So there needs to be reweightings, if anything. So I like Palantir here and I'm staying long. So that is my opinions.
Clip that. And then everything you just said, a week today or tomorrow for Reddit. Because Reddit is another stock, which
who's actually in Reddit?
Well, I don't know. I'm just talking about a stock that has crazy valuation, blowing out of the water, trend to the upside. They report next week. If it does a parabolic move, like you go back into August of last year, and this stock is up 4x. On Reddit. So I think like that's the kind of name. Like if it does a huge rally on next week's earnings, they are Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. Yeah, so they're next week Wednesday. So if it does a huge rally, maybe look for like that Thursday, the same pattern that Palantir is doing, because Reddit, wow, it just keeps going and going and going to the upside. The trend is your friend till the end, but Tesla is also trying to do that thing that it is doing before. Let's go back to John.
Thing is, if you are a skilled trader but lacking capital, well, then prop firms are the place for you. Trade with simulated funds or real funds, allowing you to showcase your skills, access account sizes ranging from as low as $5,000 up to $500,000. That's $500,000, ladies and gentlemen. You can start with as little as that $20 right now in your pocket, but with inflation, maybe you need like $22. But with over 500 prop firms out there, how do we find which ones are the best? Well, it's very, very simple. Check out this website that we're showing you right now on the screen. It's propfirmmatch.com. Prop Firm Match is your go-to platform for finding and comparing only the most esteemed firms with proven track records and consistent long-term payout histories. With over 4,500 verified reviews, explore payout histories. Make sure you're in the right spot. Scan the QR code below and visit propfirmmatch.com today to find the match for you. Palantir, I choose you right now. And so we're in that one. It just got into $100.85. We are getting some more out. It's only 20 cents in the money when we get up to there. But we're going to do that every time as the market has made its way all the way back. And I mean, this is just like ridiculous that I'm sitting here looking at this and trying to push weight in this market. stupid. I'm getting stopped out at the tops, at the bottoms. That hasn't happened. I just can feel that that's going to happen. And right now I'm running on like anxiety with this market. Like Palantir just puts me 20 cents into the money. And even if you have a couple hundred shares, 20 cents, it's like, there's $100. It's like, we'll take it, and then it just disappears, and then it's minus 100, and then it's, anyways, as you can see here, I don't know if right now at these current levels, we are right by going in and out. So I'm gonna wait for Palantir. My next offer is at 88, and then we'll basically stop until we get that break of 50 to the downside where we'll stop out. So 88 gives me 22 cents higher, and my break spot is 16 cents. So we've taken out profit now on this last little giddy up here of Palantir, and now we'll just wait to see if we get that ultimate move back higher. I'm not sure if that's going to be coming through or not. Nice bounce on Uber, nice bounce on Google, but could be temporary. Intel, I hate to say it, but this name might be a buy in the 50s. Might be getting close
that came back down.
Might be getting close to buying Intel. Yeah, I wish we would have shorted that little baby wick up there, but still no volume, not giving me the feels there as well. And then there goes Palantir. Like, it was just 10 cents in the money. Now we're going to be 10 cents out of the money. So, yep. All right. What's up, Dara?
Ahead of MSTR earnings tonight, or I guess now Strategy earnings tonight, in case you missed it, they rebranded. We have a brand new graphic here on X, kind of looking at the history of Strategy or MicroStrategy's history with Bitcoin, including that of their executive chairman, Michael Saylor. This quote here is actually a quote that Michael Saylor has said about Bitcoin, calling it, quote, a swarm of cyber hornets serving the goddess of wisdom. So if you want to take a bit more of a look at this history, check this out on X at TTV Research. One thing I found fascinating is they didn't really get into crypto until about Q3 2020. They really started getting involved in August of 2020. And even then, they really only started escalating their purchases pretty intensely within the last 6 months or so. So interesting stuff. Take a look at this on X at TTV Research ahead of those earnings tonight. Apparently, also, they'll be giving more context on their rebrand, which again calls them Strategy, includes a Bitcoin symbol in its logo, and changed their color to orange. Find more about that tonight, apparently, during their earnings call at 5 p.m. Eastern, guys. Back to you.
So if anything, that makes me more nervous about the company.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
but I've never liked
look at the shiny thing over here. Don't look over here at our numbers. Like,
I've never liked them in the first.
That's what I think when I see that, but
just hold Bitcoin, man.
I don't know.
Just hold Bitcoin.
I think when you get involved with, pay attention to the report and figure out what's going on, because I think when you get involved with MicroStrategy, you know what you're doing. You're buying like a levered ETF basically in for crypto, right?
But yeah.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, like, that's something that you definitely want to watch.
The expected move on that could easily get doubled.
So
that sort of the thing.
Yeah, so right now, ARM's expected move 10% plus right here. So here's ARM Holdings. What we're looking at is this number right there, 10 for ARM there today. There's MicroStrategy. It actually shows only an implied move of 6% right now. So that's not huge at all.
That's nothing.
Last move, though, only showing 1% of rate there last time around. So so be it, MicroStrategy. We'll have to figure out where exactly it wants to go from here, and it looks like maybe up. But we'll wait. Bitcoin right now, 97.6. So that had dipped a little bit lower. We'll take a look at some Bitcoin charts, obviously, here as the day goes forward. Getting close now to just saying forget about it with this PLTR, down into this area of 50s again. There's the big 50 level. Once we break that, we'll just give it a couple pennies underneath. But it looks like it wants to break. We're long at 64. It's like a ho-hum trade. Obviously, when you lose, it's never great and never a good trade. But for this one, man, I don't really... We played it to the north side, got stopped out. It's underneath everything. This is one of those trades when you look back, you're like, why am I going long? Like, we're underneath. So we'll just cross our I's and dot our T's type of thing here and just punch out here reluctantly on that break. So there it goes. Well, we won't be stubborn with it. We'll keep it obviously green and try to wait to see now with Palantir moving forward. But yeah, sorry, like that just didn't hold up. And a lot of you are like, Palantir's going southbound. Watch out for 100. That call by Dragos there in the chat was like, maybe it does a similar thing. So see, even though it bounces back up right there, I'm like, maybe I'll get back in, but not worth it. Too many times we've just seen that happen to us. So we'll wait on Palantir and see if there's something else. Feels like maybe just a short, but look at the market.
The market's chilling at the top.
The Apple.
Update on
frustrated with
the potential of a Tesla 3 o'clock buyer. Yeah, no.
No?
No, there was the initial candle happened, but if you look at it yesterday and the day before, when this buying started on Tesla, to the chart remain, the buying started on Tesla on a 3-minute, it was big green, and then a couple more smaller green candles. It was still very strong. We had to start, but just immediate lack of continuation. So like it actually set up really nicely. There's your big green candle. All you got to do is break this local high, ready to go if it takes out 380.50, but complete opposite of that. That's why if you're looking for something kind of gimmicky like that, it's almost better to buy. Like I'd rather buy high and ensure that it's doing what it was doing yesterday. Like yesterday, like I would rather be buying it here or here than trying to be on the dip after that initial move up. So I think maybe people were anticipating it was just going to hold higher and buying into that dip, but yeah, no big buy here on Tesla just yet. NVIDIA is like slowly climbing higher. Look at NVIDIA off of VWAP. NVIDIA is good. 5% up.
Yeah.
Absolutely in love with VWAP the last couple of days. Yeah, this was the one. Why weren't we looking at it? What was I looking at instead of NVIDIA? Oh, that's right before we came back on air. All right, I might not have been paying much attention. There's a few times of day that just get you. Like that 10 minutes before we come back on, like, you know, you're getting a water, you're getting a tea, or going to the bathroom or something. And that's when NVIDIA does the reversion off of VWAP right before we came back on air. That is a slap of fail on that one. Anytime you get this kind of a trend break on NVIDIA, you got to have it. To the long side anyways, recently. NVIDIA is on, when you talk about the good news here with, you've now had back-to-back where the big boys are affirming their CapEx spend, and I don't think you'll see anything different along the line. We'll get more of it on Thursday. We don't have to. We have to wait until the 26th till NVIDIA's earnings, but everything has been confirmatory for them in the short run, and that's been borne out the last few days. It's not parabolic; it's just steady eddy to the upside on NVIDIA, as much as 5% up can be steady eddy. What's BBAI doing? Maybe that's going to be moving here, Sean. What's this? Yeah, it goes right to the high and doesn't break it out. Even Big Bear can't break out the top today. Up 50%, screaming back to the upside, and it can't break out the top. Yeah, it's disappointing. It's just not that kind of a volume afternoon, I guess.
Ooh, Big Bear. Yeah, no, I'm disappointed. I'm just disappointed because all these stocks I'm looking at just keep going back and forth and back and forth. And I just like zoomed in here into a 5-minute Google chart and was like, first of all, see if you go back. I'm just like, okay, whoopsies, go back again. I was just like, what does this look like down into here? So you can just get this magnifying glass with E-signal, and then of course just kind of go like that, and you can zoom right in. And then now that I'm looking at this 190.23 or so coming out, I was actually thinking like that's VWAP. This is zoomed in, this is a 5-minute chart. So there's VWAP is right here at 190.13. It's these top breaks. I'm actually thinking about taking that break of 190.23. I just wanted to zoom in to see what that top was. You do have the 50 period. We could run into that, and that could be a problem. So now I was wondering about 190.50 if we get back going. Our last trade on Google was a loss. That doesn't mean that we have to ignore it. I just think that we could, there's definitely a possibility that we could get back up to the upside on Google again. I don't know. I know there's a lot of love for the name and down 8% here. When a stock is down, it's like Palantir was up 23% yesterday, down 3% today. I wonder if, again, that's why I asked about the earnings, like with a lack of like really any super special earnings tonight, maybe we just drift a little bit. I mean, we were red today. We're now green on the NASDAQ. Some good feels. Apple's trying to go. Maybe this Google eventually does want to get a little northbound here. So yeah, 190.20. Maybe it is a 190.50 or so break that we're looking for on Google.
Hang on a second, Sean.
It's only 313 though.
Did you just say a lack of impact earnings when Ford's reporting tonight?
Yeah, that's my bad. With Ford reporting tonight, there is a huge impact on earnings.
I'm talking about Ford here.
How could I forget about Ford? What was I even thinking?
I'm just saying. No, Ford is
someone see that's
Ford
a good price. 189 on Google. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Ford is not impact earnings. I was kind of joking. I think ARM is going to move around. I see in the chat G-Talk 5140, great name. CrowdStrike is going up. The cybersecurity name.
Oh, Qualcomm.
Qualcomm's a bit. Yeah, Qualcomm and ARM are the two biggest ones.
Yeah.
Another all-time high break for CrowdStrike. So I mean, count them up. It's probably done that a few times this afternoon because everything from like 411 on the daily is a fresh all-time high. So it's been breaking all-time highs all afternoon on CrowdStrike. Just going to quickly double check because I have no idea what PanW is doing. And it made a recent bounce off of, here we go. Yeah, it's almost back into this 188 resistance top. But it made a recent, oh, that's right, we're not adjusted. But it made a recent bounce. It has some room to go to be able to catch up to the top. Cybersecurity names looking absolutely fantastic. Roblox in the morning. That is
Roblox as well. Okay.
I want to get. Yeah, this is a stock I want to get into. What happened?
Okay. So we just took Google long. It just popped up like 40 cents. Like I just put this trade in. I was going.
Scare me, bro.
I was waiting. Yeah, I scared myself actually there because like I don't like. I just put that. Look what happened to Google. It just went to 190.50. We were just right down here and bang, in 1 minute, it went to the north side. So there's my stop. I wanted to take a little bit there. I was also debating that 190.50 area. So I really hope that this doesn't completely fall down from here, which it may do. And I don't know what just got us into that, but okay, we're in it. We're going to wait for a little bit of a higher take here, northbound now, as this name trying to go. So we'll wait at 190.40s, see if we can get something out. Then at 190.50, as we know, that's been a stopping spot for us as well. Wow, yeah, my bad. That just really... That took me really by surprise. Was not really expecting that. So here we go on Google. Let's see if we can get a little bit higher. I'm waiting, like I said, 37 and 40 on this one. See if we can grab that 10 cents for 10% and then higher, right? And then the 200 period, and then we go on Google. I really hope this was, like, look at the futures there. And this is honestly, like, we just got taken in basically when we went right to the high again. Remember I said, like, we should be waiting for something to happen. Either you break through and then you just trust the long instead of getting wicked back and forth and in and out in all of these plays. So I have a bad feeling that we might have just got wicked in and out of Google here. We're not out yet, but you know, when we do get out. So again, if we're going to play the 50-period moving average, this is at least a hold back to 90. So if you have too many shares right now that you cannot absorb a 40-cent hit, then you have too many shares. So that's the play right there, holding it back into 189.90. That's going to be what it is. When it gets back there, I'll still probably have 75% of this trade, maybe even a little bit more. So let's go Google. We need to get some upticks here to get out of this trade. Look at the futures, man. We just sort of maybe got duped into that, which is fine. Again, just trying to make something happen here at the end of the day, and that's not right. You don't need to make something happen. I was reacting to this break of VWAP.
That's a break of resistance.
Yeah, so I'll take it. I think I'm fine with it, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's not really resulting in anything. It's flat on the trade. I'm talking like this is doomsday. We're long here at 190.27. It's at 190.30s right now. It's in the money, but not going any higher. As if it like knows my price right now. Like it's not doing anything. It's waiting to screw me over, I feel like right now, part of my French. Okay, get upside, Google. We need to get something out here at 190.40s, or else I'm not feeling very good about this at all.
That doesn't sound like French. My daughter's been she's in French immersion. She's been doing Duolingo, and I don't recall ever hearing that.
No, my kid does Duolingo Japanese.
Duolingo is absolutely, first of all,
he goes to, yeah, go ahead.
Apple recently broke the high trend. I mean, it's a very slight trend, but little trend pullback. So the same thing as before, just on a micro level. Broke highs, pull back, go into the trend long, give to the prior bar bottom. So just doing the same thing on a smaller range near the high. Apple, if the market breaks the high, I think Apple has a chance. Don't forget, Apple's had some imbalances before. So in 20 minutes or so, if you don't want to trade with stops, you always want to trade with stops on any of these big cap tech names. Apple and NVIDIA specifically have had big imbalances. Duolingo is fantastic.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I will say this, I'm terrible at language. I'm glad my daughter is getting into it. She hated French immersion last year. She's loving it this year, and Duolingo was a really, really big part of it. My wife did it before we went to Paris. I have no idea if she's going to do it before we go to Vienna this year, but yeah, it's fun to learn. And so if you're making it fun to learn as a parent, it's great. I don't mind when she's on the tablet. Can I have tablet for Duolingo? I'm like, can you have the tablet to learn? Hell yeah, I'm down with that. So great. I have no idea how good the stock is. I've never owned it. I should probably look it up at some point. But we just got back into Apple. I should just do it now. What is Duolingo doing? Please tell me you're fantastic. Oh no. Yeah, that kind of stunk this morning. If you bought this at the open, hopefully you took some profit out. That is quite the move on. No idea we're going to see this kind of a Christmas tree on the day on this intraday chart here. But the daily chart, on the other hand, on Duolingo, maybe should have bought the stock. That's not bad. This is an absolute rocket ship to the upside. That is a lot better than I was anticipating. And see, it goes to show, if you have a good product, if you do something that benefits people and people are willing to pay money for and don't care how much money they pay because it works, you're probably going to do well. Shout out to you, Duolingo. Not sponsored by them at all, but it's just real content. I didn't even know how great the chart was till I pulled it up there, Sean. That's a great stock.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a stock. So what's up to Duolingo? That's for sure. All right, so yeah, as we sit here and watch out what's going on, 190.27s is where we're long on Google, and it's right here right now, almost as if there's that magnet. But look what's happening with the futures. Why Google should be going now. So now I'm getting all paranoid again. Like it should be going upside, it's not. So yeah, it is bothering me a little bit that it's not moving. So potentially you lighten up a little bit and then it will go, right, when I lighten up. So what do you guys want me to do in the chat? Yeah, my kid's the same as yours. Like, he turns to me and goes, why in the heck am I learning French? I don't like it, and I'm never going to use it. And I was like, exactly. So he just picked Japanese, and I'm just like, okay.
Great, yeah.
Yeah, man. So anyways, I don't know if Japanese is hard to learn or not, but he's talking to me about it, and I'm just like, bro. Okay, so yeah, ARM might be, again, we picked Google. I don't know why. Our last trade was a loser. We probably should have gone somewhere else.
Volume on ARM.
ARM right now, yeah, there's not too much volume, but this could be breaking the top two, 172.50. Like that could be another one there. Getting ready into earnings. Okay, come on, Google. Honestly, dude. All right, bang. Finally, the face slap. All right, I'm just joking. We just got filled on what we wanted. So it just got up to 190.40. So there it is right now. So we finally get that fill. We actually have to move away from it, and then it starts to go up. So maybe if we start looking somewhere else, we can get this to go. This is going to be a big one if it will go. Right now, we will maybe adjust some of our stops. Again, the 50 period is what we were going to look at, right? And that's adjusting on the fly. I don't use. Okay, I'm gonna take another piece out at 45. Bang. All right, I don't use stop orders, trailing stops. I'll just manually put it in because right now this is looking like 40 cents of a stop. It doesn't mean that that's going to be 40 cents as this continues to go up. So we're going to try to use the 50 period moving out. Yes, sir. There's another fill right there at 50s as Google now starting to go. So, hey, man, if you're with me right now, you're with Google. If you're with Neil, you're long with Apple or the market in general. As we're starting to get going a little bit now, making me feel a little bit better, putting this right back into the spot. I got to, my wife right now, so my daughter does winter baseball training. So tonight, although this morning, Joe, up at 5:30 and at the rink, and then today, right now, she's at the cages. So every Wednesday, it's an indoor facility, but I think they do mainly batting there. And
I'd love that.
That's nice.
I miss playing. You know what's jokes? Someone in the chat.
I never actually let it rip too much in batting cages.
What?
No, like I'd love to go back there now.
Yeah.
Like when you're growing up, whatever, it's more of like a job, but like that could be fun to do.
Hell,
I want to do Trader TV Live bowling. Hey, you guys want to do bowling?
Hold on a second. You go to the cages all the time with G. You never
No, because it's just hers. No, because you pay for that.
No,
time.
that's fine. No, I know that it's for the kids, but
you want to do bowling night?
Yo, we had a fun bowling night last time.
I'm only doing bowling night if Ramin wants to do bowling night.
I wouldn't mind doing the axe throwing because when the company went, I missed it last time.
Why not, Ramin? Wow, Ramin is saying no bowling.
Ramin will come bowling. Of
course, no. She has axe throwing in her basement.
I want to do axe throwing. I've never done it before. I've heard it was like 10. You remember when the company went axe throwing, and I don't remember why, but I didn't go.
I was there. I went there for axe throwing.
I'm trying to remember why I missed it.
So I've been axe throwing, knife throwing, and then bow and arrow. There's actually a place.
That'd be.
Hey, you know what? Like we should do something to celebrate We should do something to celebrate 500,000.
I'm trying to throw axes for 500,000 subscribers. Okay,
I'm trying to do bowling. I'm trying to do bowling.
We did bowling once already.
Doesn't hit the like,
we did bowling.
but
yeah, there's bowling. There's a lot of funny bowling.
There was a huge bet between
Fahad and
between two of our production crew who would bowl better. A dude who'd never picked up a ball in his life, and he obviously I worked.
But I just want to say someone. I'll challenge anybody to bowling.
No, but Sean, Sean is an actual better bowler. He'll whoop your butt in pool.
No, it's not that. It's not that I whoop
that
anybody's
too.
butt. I want to play Joe.
Just very quickly here, we got a couple super chats. I just want to make sure we get them. Thank you very much, Ty. I said T Black. I don't know why I just said Ty. It's because Kyle sent a super chat too. Keep up the great work. Trade safe. I think you have to make scalp trading here for sure. Take your gains where they're there. 007 Kyle. Who do we have for the Super Bowl? Chiefs or Eagles?
Can we
at Neil or Sean? I bet you this is not they beat my team, so I'm thinking they're going to win. But I think the Chiefs are going to win. I think it's going to be a somewhat boring defensive battle. But the Chiefs.
You think boring?
If it comes down to one possession, which I think it will, the Chiefs just don't lose those games. So I don't.
That's the problem.
If Philly can get a 2-score lead, I think they're pretty unstoppable if they can get a 2-score lead because of their run game, because of their offensive line. But if it stays close, you don't bet against the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes. I also like the over on Noah Gray. I don't even know what the line is, but I think the number 2 tight end is going to have a bit of a game as the focus will be on Kelsey. But that's a different story there. So Kyle, I think it'll be fun to watch. I enjoy the Super Bowl even if my team is out of it. It's all good. Maybe not as much as I would normally if the Bills had made the Super Bowl.
But this is like the last time we went out. This is 63 weeks ago.
What?
63 weeks ago.
Oh, where's my hair?
Where's Sharif's mustache?
Was I bald?
You were bald, Neil.
I was shaving my head.
Yeah, man.
Oh my.
Bald.
I'm gonna do that again. I'm doing that again.
Mendel? I don't know. We'll figure it out. I can't hear you. Something's happening in my ear. Okay. Just real quickly here. I'll get you in a second, Ramin. I'm trying to go through my Instagram. There's some fun stuff on there. I'm trying to find bowling pictures on here because I know that I definitely had something to do with bowling. Oh, here's the all girls. This is last year, I believe. This is the all girls rep baseball team that I coach. So that's that for right now. That's what I'm talking about right here. Gia's going with one of these girls tonight to there's both my kids here. Oh, here's us in Rome, by the way. I forget what piazza that was. Oh, here's all of us. Here's some friends from Brampton. Yo, shout out Brampton.
I'm not worried.
Neil, me, right here. We're supposed to be covering the market. We won't say names, but those are our friends there. Again, we don't have too many friends, so I'm really happy to show them. Here's I don't anyways. Where was everybody else? Oops, here's my son right here when he made Microsoft as his pick. So this was actually, wow, that's 89 weeks ago. This dude is now tall. He told me last night, he's like, Dad, he's finally into shoes. He's like, I want Max Jordan Aura 6s.
Yes.
I'm just like, I open up the Foot Locker app. And he's a size 11 and a half shoe. So absolutely, yeah, man, 13 years old.
He's a boring boy.
Oh, here's me with some guys from Overdrive. This is Noodles. You might know Noodles. And then here's Maple Leaf great, Rick Vive. Used to lead the Leafs in goals until Austin Matthews, the great American Austin Matthews, right on board here.
Maple Leafs legend.
Here's some guy playing the accordion, by the way. Accordion is very, very nice. Here's me and my boy. Who can tell me what this is right there in the chat? You will win absolutely nothing to that. So anyways, okay, I'll look for bowling later. All right, Google right now is bowling upside right now. Bang! That's exactly the trade that we want. Look, we give good vibes back. We talk about family. We talk, Eiffel Tower, you win. Exactly. Good job, Ramin, right there. Eiffel Tower. This girl's too much. Doesn't like bowling. Wants to do axe throwing. All right, so we'll get some more out of Google right there. Nice upside trade. Yes. So I hope some of you took that with us. We told you we were a little bit hesitant of doing Google because this last one, although it was okay, it wound up being wrong to the downside. That break of VWAP, straight upside pressure now on Google. So we're pretty happy about that, needless to say. So, yeah, thanks for that jot down memory lane, and it's not over yet. So, what's up, Neil?
Yeah, the NASDAQ just took out the fresh highs of the day, so congrats there. NVIDIA just, nope, it didn't break the high of the day. Pretty much the high of the day on NVIDIA. I just looked over. It's very, very close. Apple is making its attempt right now. If it breaks here, I'm trying to get some out in the 90s in front of the 32 even. And if you're wondering why a random offer, we're getting to the end of the day. But if we have overhead resistance on Apple, I respect that to have a little bit of a turnaround. So I'm going to get one out here. This support in the afternoon at 232 is turning into resistance right now here on Apple. So if it's not going to break higher, going to take another leg out. If we break the top, look for it to get to the half $8 level.
Intel.
Yo, I'm actually going. I know what you're about to bring up. I got invited curling by my neighbors.
Yeah, you should go.
Put my screen.
Do you? Yeah, but I have a concern about that.
If you're
though.
gonna show me you bowling, it's fine. Wow. Let me guess. You're gonna get a strike.
Oh, yeah, but of course
Dude,
you're
show
gonna
me
get a
five.
strike.
No, show me 5 in a row, and then we'll talk. Okay.
No,
so right-
anybody can hit one strike.
Exactly.
On camera on everything.
Bro, you probably took a video of every frame.
No way.
What are you even doing right now?
Let's go.
You know, it's like me showing a free throw and being like, okay, there we go. I made one free throw. I'm dusting everybody around here. But here's curling.
I wanted to see the form, but whatever.
I think we could. So I coach curling. I don't. We had to give up because of the sort of the heights of hockey right now. But yeah, there's curling. That was a lot of fun.
I have a question about curling.
Look at this throwback.
Because
Look how young I am.
If you're right-handed, don't you push off with your right foot? So
yes.
So that would be a problem. Like, I don't.
Yeah, you should not curl.
I don't think I could curl because that's.
You cannot, but you
that's
could
the.
This is a throwback to 20 years ago when I started trading right here at Real Trading, by the way. So look at that same layout, eh? Like look at the colors on my layout. Look at the colors on my layout. It's the same platform exactly.
In the water.
And who now has a white mice, like a mouse right there?
That's just with the
Look at
black
this printer.
with the
That's
black
like a
keyboard.
dot
That's just
matrix
terrible.
back up in there. But look.
Whoa! First of all, that same printer is like right over there.
Yeah, that's bad. That's
so
sticky
bad.
note. Look at that sticky note right
That's so bad.
there. Anyways.
It is the same printer.
All right. Oh, there's Brendan. Hey, what's up, Brendan? Oh, my wife. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here's Fahad. Oh, yeah, the chip challenge there. That was fun. Team Gillette, what's up with that? All right, we'll get it. Oh, there's Hydration Nation, big one. All right, we'll get back to trading. All right, with only 30 minutes left, I always start this because I'm looking for bowling. So at some point, I will find the bowling highlight as well. Oh my God, Fahad brought his kid that one time. Too much cuteness. This kid is too much there. I was so proud. We cut down a tree there. That was a lot of fun there as well. There's you guys who know who this is, my boy, Scotty Barnes, right there. You know, probably I'm wearing the same hat as I am probably today. Anyways, what up, Scotty Barnes there?
I think.
Pick 4 overall by the Raptors.
Yes.
All right, Tesla flying around.
Tesla's dropping like a rock.
Oh, is it dropping? Someone said flying.
No. Tesla just lost the low of the day and continuing to drop. The NASDAQ just wicked the high, okay? Apple's trying to break the even. If Apple fails this even dollar break, I should probably jump out. But there's Tesla, 4% down, breaking even lower. The NASDAQ is pressing into the high like we were just showing, so distinctly different is Tesla. But you're getting a little bit of a pullback on the futures here. We're at Apple. What are you doing here? Yeah, Apple's pressing through, so I think it's still fine. If it loses trend again, we can always try to jump out of it. What else is moving? Palantir might be making moves. Tesla's really taking it on the chin. I wonder how much of the selling in Tesla is over this. They're dumping it because of Doge, and it's just maybe some institutions are doing that game for Tesla because it's had so much support at these prices on Tesla. Like technically, it's been doing really well. Every time it broke or held the 380 level, you've been getting rebounds, but not looking very good. So Apple holding this 232. Remember, it's 330. I haven't looked at the early look imbalances, but you're trying to break back into what was the close on Apple. So there is some overhead resistance here on AAPL. And I mentioned the imbalances are coming in. Early look. FXI, buy of 1.7. Pfizer, we didn't even look at Pfizer. 1.5 million for Pfizer. PCG, HL, those are not really things that'll move too much. Yeah, so the early look on the imbalances isn't a heck of a lot. FXI, of course, being an ETF, probably needs to be a lot bigger than 1.6 million to move it on FXI, but still worth keeping an eye on it, see what happens.
Buy, okay, yeah, buy imbalance there into the close. I was going to say, never complain about. I just like this is SneakerCon. Shout out to our friends at SneakerCon. There took my daughter there. That was fun. There, that was over 2 years ago. I'm wearing the Trader TV Live hat right there. SneakerCon, great. I think you guys, anybody's into shoes, SneakerCon is fantastic. Go check it out. That was a heck of a lot. Oh my God, my daughter came out. Look at this. She was 5 weeks early. 5 pounds 5 ounces. That's my pinky finger, obviously. As we go. So anyway, shout out there as memory lane. I'm not even really focused too much now on trading, but we'll get back into the zone right now. Wow. Okay, so here, look at this picture. Take a look at this. This is right outside of the TSX. Me, Randy, and Brendo. I don't know where you were here, but again, outside of the TSX, they're in Toronto. You know, what's up, Randy? Maybe he's had a few there.
Randy
we were out there that night. That is for sure. So, anyways, yeah, good memories. All right. So with Google coming out, Neil mentioned that, of course, we do have those imbalances. We do have the early look. As this has been happening, I've just been getting out a couple times here. These are just 1 minute. Over the last 10 minutes or so, we've gotten more out at the 200 period. I would really hope that this could go into the close. So right now, I have another offer at 58. That would be the highest I've ever gotten. And then I don't have anything until 191. So into the 90s there, upside for that. As again, I don't want to just look at this so tightly. If it's going to go, let's give it some room to go and get something out on the upside. Otherwise, remember what we're doing. We're playing this 50-period moving average. So now it's at 190.10s. So let's change our stop again on this trade. So right now we're 18 cents in the money. If we get stopped out, we've already taken profits. So if we get stopped out now, it would be 1-to-1. So if you're getting nervous about it, you're now 20 cents in the money, or you were, against that hit right there of 190.10. So I'm going to switch my stop right now and put it out at 190.10. That big bear didn't go out. I was waiting for a top break. That didn't happen. So that was close, man. I have a stop order in right now to take this out if it gets back up there. So 755, no moss on that, it looks like, for now.
Roberto Duran, no moss. Can't quit on a fight, man. But sometimes it's just what happens. So Apple's holding trend. It did just fail. Well, okay, it did not hold 232, but it's starting to fail underneath the trend line again. It's late in the day. Going to stick to the rule. If we break the prior bar, going to jump out of it. Always try to stick to the plan. But you're starting to run into some problems here in the market. The market's kind of deepening its pullback. Apple's strong, obviously, but couldn't quite get to green. Always a chance there's one more shot that it could go. But I looked up, like a few things were giving that pullback. Like you already were dragging back down on NVIDIA. NASDAQ is dragging itself back into the downside as well. And when you're looking for trends like this, one of the places you might be able to find them, or indicators that'll give you those opportunities, is with e-signal. And the reality is, as a trader, or just in life in general, I mean, you want to work smarter, not harder. That's what you do with e-signal. But you know what's more important? The first month is free, traders, with e-signal. That's right. They're waiving the fees. Trade smarter, not harder, like I said. Upgrade to an elite trading experience where you can strategize and capitalize on the best charting platform out there. It's got infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts. You got you had the zoom in that Sean was showing. You've got the tick replay feature, back testing, reliable real-time data, global markets. We've used it for successful trades on Europe, where we didn't even know 90% of the stocks that we were trading, but the technicals mattered, and that's all it was. And it's all in one place. So if you want to step up your game and execute your best trades, do it now and do it for free for the first month. So if you're ready to elevate your trading, scan the QR code you see in front of you, or check the link in the description. Shout out to eSignal. With that, Tesla still bleeds. NVIDIA still pulling back. 10 minutes to go till the imbalances. And I'll show you guys Tesla. Oh, no, Tesla just bounced off the lows. So Tesla's still looking incredibly weak. I did check out, I've been checking out some small caps that have hit the radar, but there's nothing really going at all. It's one of those. And you're right, Volky. Free is a very, very good price. Last I checked, some people like to pay, but whatever. I'd rather have it free. Christopher Mulligan, how do we feel about MSTR earnings?
Ooh.
My bias will get the best of me. I don't believe in MicroStrategy because to me, you just buy Bitcoin. It's leveraged. You can't do this in perpetuity forever because at some point, doesn't it all have to fall apart? I just don't see like the long-term strategy here for them. Obviously, since the split, it's been doing some things. Yeah, the chart doesn't even, the chart today, look at the selling up here at 350, 355. Wow, that's pretty distinct. You really could have been shorting pops for the last little bit here every time it broke 350 on MicroStrategy. But I'm not a huge believer in it. If I'm betting long, which I am, I'm holding Bitcoin, and I don't really I don't want them. And more power to Michael Saylor, and apologies for continuously saying MicroStrategy. At some point, I'll just start calling it strategy. I think it's kind of a weird change. Call it Bitcoin strategy. But yeah, I'll make that mistake for a while. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of them. I don't see what they could tell us that would make me like it or make it do anything but move with Bitcoin and move down harder when Bitcoin makes small moves down. I don't know.
Yeah, no, interesting to come to that. I mean, I think ARM might be a little more important to the market. You guys all hear about the Playmaker poll right here. If you go back 149 weeks on my Instagram, this is the Playmaker. He was he was with the Miami Police Department. I don't know if the sheriff or whatever, but it was great. He met me over there at the hotel, and it was absolutely fantastic there at Blau. So thank you so much for that with the Playmaker. So a little bit of a blast from the past there as we go. So shout out to Playmaker. I'm glad I was able to put that up and get him on there on our stream. So really happy with that one. Okay, let's move on. All right, so Google right now, we've taken one last stab. We just took another share. Just took some more shares back here at VWAP. We talked about where our stop is. We are going to respect that level, so a break of 10, and we're gone. And it looks like, again, we made money back, and now we'll give it back again and be flat on this trade. I just wish there was more happening. The futures, we talked about it getting to that top side. It looks like that was the right trade. Fade all the tops and buy all the bottoms. And I mean, that top, it would have gone against you, but if you're fading tops, you don't get out as soon as it breaks the very top. You got to wait to see what happens. There's the push back down in. It looks like we do retrace back down about 35 handles. So that's probably going to be enough now. A lot of pressure here on the name, on the market. There's Google. There's the market coming back in again right now. So on the daily, Google's already in trouble. Here it comes, breaking 190.10. Unfortunately, that is the 50-period moving average. So what we make on Google, I mean, we were excited when we first got in. I mean, it looked like it wanted to go. And I was talking about getting out here at the 200 period. And then I said, if you don't like it, it's 1-to-1. We will be getting more. So it looks like we'll have to step out of this trade one more time. So, despite having, this experience or whatever, there it goes. It looks like we chased that one and it comes right back in again. And we can't control the futures. All you can really do is control risk. So I can look over here and say, I'm up more now than when I started this trade. It's the only trade I had on, but it's not much more. So that kind of sucks, as we just gave that rate back in again to the downside on Google. And I don't necessarily want to buy it back again. Like Palantir, we got out, it went back up, and now it's right back down again. Like, I don't know, just too choppy here into the close. Roblox should be good. All this stuff. Sean-stalgia, that's pretty funny.
Trump is speaking right now.
Is he? I don't hear him.
He was signing some executive orders and is speaking right now. So
okay.
I haven't heard anything in my ear, but obviously with only about 15 minutes to go, if he's speaking with 15 minutes to go, I don't want any orders out, to be honest, because if something moves, you don't want to get run over by any kind of a headline. I think it'd be different if something hit the wire and you could react to it, but no, I wouldn't want to sit there with orders out, because he's signing some executive orders and now he's speaking. So even I just got out of Apple and it just made its biggest move to the downside, as Sean was saying. So we get out of it, it then flushes, not really a flush, but 70 cents this afternoon is a big move. Let's go to the desk with Adara.
I just want to let you guys know the orders that he's signing right now have absolutely nothing to do with anything that should be market moving. I'm just going to let you guys know it's not anything that seems on its face to be market moving, but we know that he can be asked questions, so things could move. I'm listening to it, but yeah, this bill has absolutely nothing to do with any AI-related things. It has nothing to do with crypto. It has nothing to do with tariffs. So again, if anything changes, I'll let you know, but right now it just seems like he is speaking. It's part of this executive orders, and right now he's just reading a statement, so that's really all it is. Back to you.
Jay, thank you very much, Adara. Jay Lee? IVVD, you're asking for the level 2 on IVVD? Sure. It's on NVIDIA right now because I was just watching NVIDIA. There's a level 2 on IVVD. I don't see anything that's standing out on the stock, particularly that looks relatively normal for this one. And it's strong. Actually, this has been going. Why wasn't this? Yeah, this didn't hit any. It never got to the top of my trade rate list, but it's on the list. It just never got to the top. No, there's a strong mover on pretty decent volume, but nothing standing out size-wise on the level 2 there. But yeah, we don't mind having a look at it. I don't want to chase it there at the end of the day. And the point that Adara made, like he could say, it doesn't matter what is being talked about. You never really know. Question could get asked and moves the markets, could run it over. We also have 5 minutes till the imbalances come out. That is another thing that can move some markets. I think a look at Apple and a look at NVIDIA usually, in the last couple of weeks, those have been the two stocks that have generally had the biggest imbalances and worth a look. NVIDIA goes without saying at this point because it's just doing so much volume on a daily basis that it's the, NVIDIA's turned into the first stock you look at when you sit down, the last stock I look at when I log out. I think there was a time when that used to be Apple, or it certainly was Tesla for a while, but certainly it's NVIDIA now. A great trade-off VWAP if you had it. That 10 minutes before we came back on for the afternoon show. Oops.
Look at this. This is 50K subscribers. This is 240 weeks ago. We're pouring the champagne. We've got it going here.
What are we drinking?
There's Brendan. There's Valeria. There's Neil. Right there when it was, 50,000 subscribers. Right there. So 240 weeks ago. And I was like, oh, here's me and Brendan golfing 5
Brendan
years
doesn't
ago.
age, man.
Wow. And then also, I just want to show one more thing. Does anybody remember NASDAQ sent a little care package? Like COVID, I just can't believe what that was back then. There's my little NASDAQ mask there. All right, 4 minutes to go right now. No more throwbacks there. But all right, Palantir making that dump into $100. So those of you that were calling 100% right, right there. So nice move to the downside right now, bouncing off the 200 period. There goes Palantir. I'm out of everything right now, into nothing, making sure I don't have any script orders ready to go as we'll wait for those imbalances coming through. But right now, the NASDAQ does go top to bottom there, down about 100 handles right now. Is that right? No, sorry, 50 handles. 21,750 down to 21,700. Nice move down. Finally, we get a little bit of momentum, but look what just happened. Runs the top, right back into the bottom again, bouncing off the bottoms. Like, we wrote this book about an hour ago, and we knew the ending, and we still got caught up in the middle. So I don't really know what we were doing here at the end of it all, but you could see pretty good with risk management, even though we'll wind up at the same spot. In, out, avoid. And we did the same thing with Palantir, but at the end of the day, it all comes back to roost. There's NVIDIA. Let's just see what this was doing, up 5%. Again, the names that I bought, S&P 500 recently, Intel recently, NVIDIA recently. So I'm not really spreading the wealth too much around. We bought NVIDIA on DeepSeek lows, which I think was, like I said, anywhere from 118 to 120 in that realm. We bought a little bit more there, about 10% more I added on to my current position, and we'll have to wait to see now what happens with NVIDIA. Looks like it wants to work off those levels, but again, who knows? Today was a very, very good day for NVIDIA, just really kept going, and it looks like we'll go out near the top, and whenever you do that, that's pretty positive. Looking tomorrow at this 129, 130 area, that could definitely play for something. But yeah, pretty happy with it moving forward right now, as it looks like NVIDIA will hold some of those bottoms. And February 26th, 3 weeks away from a big, huge report, literally the Super Bowl of earnings, I think, will be that day. Because yeah, I think this is the Super Bowl week, but like at the end of it all, it's over with, and then you say, okay, now what do we wait for, right? Remember, Super Bowl takes a 2-week vacation. So I kind of feel like that's NVIDIA. We'll get the end of the earnings, and you wait your 2 weeks, and then you get NVIDIA. And as I talk about it, just kind of going upside right now. So there goes NVIDIA, nicely played to the upside. And Google, you can,
Qualcomm moving too.
Qualcomm's reporting.
Qualcomm's up 1%.
It just 6% move, I believe.
Look, that pullback that we just saw in the market, Qualcomm actually pulled back with it and right back into the highs. They're reporting aftermarket tonight, along with ARM, MicroStrategy as well. Oh God, what a stupid name. And then here's it. Look, Qualcomm. Sometimes you like obvious levels. Yeah, what do you do if this thing is above 177 and breaking out? I think it's probably any break of that level is going to have a lot of air into 185. So that's going to be worth watching. Usually it'll move around, help Apple to move too. Just checking back in. We only have 1 minute till the imbalances. Just checking back in. Apple, it dipped $1, now trying to bounce right back in the middle of the range here as well. And we got sorry, Nimrod, missed the super chat. Appreciate you, Nimrod. Another super chat, 69.90 shekels. Looks like our favorite warrior princess is consolidating the past few days. Like it as a swing, question mark. Sean, any interesting Canadians you like as long? So any Canadian stocks for longs?
Yeah, I think Tate McRae is a good long there. Interesting Canadians or Canadians? I like Justin Bieber. I think he's not a bad long right now. Drake just sold out 16 shows on his first tour in Australia. No one else is doing that. But no, as far as stocks are concerned, interesting Canadian names.
By the way, Zena doesn't look that good.
I don't know anything Canadian, to be honest with you.
No,
I mean, I know the banks and all that kind of stuff. I could do some research and find some Canadian stuff for you. I'll do that, Nimrod. I'll look for you in the next little while there. Okay, so right now here, let's
FXI
get out of here. It is now that time. Let me refresh. It's past 3:50, my guy. Right there. Okay, so nothing actually. I'm kind of glad that nothing's happening there. TLT won't move on anything pretty much. I mean, will it move? Maybe. That move's already happened. There goes TLT, so a little bit of a bump. Actually, a green candle on a sell. Palantir gets that bid, but it's been destroyed. And honestly, on 80 million shares, 1 million's not going to do anything. Tesla, for those of you wondering, whoops, nice move to the upside there for those going short. Almost 1 million shares to buy there for Tesla. Nvidia and Meta side by side. Wow, look at this, man, all right next to each other. Palantir, Tesla, Google, Nvidia, Microsoft, Meta. Not Microsoft, I made that up. Google bid is the only buy. So Google and Tesla buys. Intel and Meta sells. Intel finally going to the downside. Meta with a sell. That could be a big size for Meta, right? Meta, 750,000 into only 13 million. So you see an instant gap down there of $1. So that's no surprise there for that. And there's Microsoft down there as well. Microsoft, again, look at the gap. Oh, no, not a gap. It tried to go a little bit on big share size. And again, the algos will pick this up faster than me and Neil can talk about it and or even open it up. So nice look there for Microsoft as well to the sell side. For me, it's Meta with the biggest gap there. Probably fills it on 355 bounce. Dara?
Yes, beware here, Rumble. RUM on watch here. The company announced here that they've have a major search engine update here deployed to their Rumble search. As you can see here, there was a lot of volatility on this stock. So RUM, with that search update, this company also has a JD Vance connection due to the fact that his group, Naria Capital, invested in them a while back. So RUM on watch. Decent short float as well, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Rumble, we know that one can definitely get going. I was checking out FXI on that buy imbalance, but it's 5 million shares. You never really know how the ETF is going to react. It didn't even move. So that's learning.
5 million shares.
5 million share imbalance on FXI and it's 30 million on the day, and it doesn't even budge on that buy imbalance. It seems significant, but it doesn't have to move the stock. So I'd say that's a little bit disappointing. I thought maybe there was a while back actually. Wasn't there? There was a couple of days where FXI actually did big moves on the imbalance.
We'll have to wait to see if anything
changes at the end of the day.
On it.
I guess that'll be the thing. Is I just typed in Rumble with the wrong NY. I have to wait for it to come back to NASDAQ. But I think let's see what happens at 355. If that were to grow, there might be something there here on FXI. That's the only thing that stands out. Like when Nvidia doesn't have an imbalance, then it is a pretty slow day for those imbalance trades here at the end. Tesla did just catch a bid at least. It wasn't a huge imbalance, but Tesla, there we go. Nice little $2 bounce. It's not huge, but considering how weak Tesla's been, it's a little bit of something for them. Just ask, ARM earnings are expected at 405. I believe we're also expecting Qualcomm at the same time. So join Dara and I will be locked and loaded, ready to go. Those are the big two. We're going to have strategy as well. Clarence Jackson, thank you for the super chat. You like CLS. They are Canadian, one of your largest holdings. I'm pretty sure my biggest Canadian holding is Enbridge myself. But yeah, thank you for that one. Celestica, which is dual listed. Yep. We're talking about it in Canada. My gut reflex is to always pull it up on the NYC when it's dual listed. But there's a great one, up 9% today. So congratulations. That's a good one. Jay Lee, with things like FXI being large ETF, usually they're constrained by algos, which is absolutely true. That said,
look at the size.
Every now and then, I'm not saying it happens often, but there were a couple of days where there were really big opportunities, specifically on FXI. It was just a couple of days in 1 week a few months ago where, trust me, there was some really good money to be made. So anytime it pops up, you have a look at it. If it doesn't move, it doesn't move. But if it's going, you can get a good trading opportunity. You never really know. You just got to pull it up and see if you see an opportunity. That's all. Great one on Celestica here. Good stock.
Yeah, I should have mentioned Celestica. Someone was actually talking to me about that one. All right, guys, we need to get some more signups here. We only have 600 likes. If you guys want to hit the like and the subscribe, please do it immediately. I mean, we talked about some fun times today. We're almost at 500,000 subscribers. Help us get there immediately if you can. Just a couple thousand subscribers away from that. We are near that 498. I'll probably be able to check for you guys. We do have a live counter going on here. Hold on a second. I'm going to go find out myself right now how many subscribers we do have. Yes, 498,000 subscribers right now as we get. I mean, come over to the screen here. I'm just showing it. There it is right there. 498. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, be part of the community. I mean, look at all the information that we have here. Also, we have many different things, podcasts, playlists, short videos, everything coming through right here. There's Neil, there's me, there's Sharif, everybody, bunch of short videos coming through here. I'm sure Adara's on some of these. We also have different lives, videos, everything is right here. Go over to @TraderTV and then you just click on this little button there and it'll take you to our live programming. We also have a mobile version as well, so please go over and check it out. All right, 355. Did anything flip over, you may ask, or if you're not, you're going to find out anyways. AMD is a bid, and look at this go upside right now as well. So a nice little upside take here on AMD. Let's see how far that goes, if anywhere now. Lucid with a sell. What's this stock doing? $3. Okay. On the daily Lucid, load. Yeah, still flattish there. This is the daily down here. $3, $2.80. Looks like $2.60, maybe a good bouncing spot there. We wait for forward earnings after hours. Comcast, Google with a bid. Look at this. Look at Google. Come
what
on,
the heck?
Google.
What a flip.
Ay, ay, ay. Straight up $1.50. Palantir stays by, or maybe that was also a flip. I'm not sure, but there that goes. Upside as well. Google, wow. Google held the bid. So that might be the strategy. And NVIDIA was always a sell or no? But we talked about NVIDIA not being big enough size anyways to affect it. But that Google one was real nice. But again, like on 61 million shares, I'm surprised this is having that much of an effect. But look at Google straight to the upside. And just to check in on Neil's FX either, because he was mentioning it's not doing anything. So you get a little bit of a bump up, but that's 5 cents. Look at the market. The market's also going off as well. So, all right. Well, you get over to the desk now with only a couple minutes left. You want to wrap
just
up?
one last one. Thank you, TV, for the super chat here. $1.99. We appreciate you for sure. All of our viewers. Like we always say, as long as you enjoy the show, share it with your friends, hit the like, hit the subscribe. That's all we ask for around here. Have a lot of fun, and we're not going anywhere. We're still going to have the market recap with you in just a couple of minutes. And I'm with you, Skyhawk. Let's go Walmart, Sonal, let's go Google, and Professor Love. That is correct. That move just now was absolutely insane. That's what happens sometimes. You get those bumps at 355, man. Like, that's what it's all about. Love the trip down memory lane, brother. Let's go.
Yeah, all right, yes, let's do it.
And my vote is
2
still
minutes.
My vote is for axe throwing. I'm still sticking with that over bowling. Just saying.
Okay. We'll discuss some axe throwing. All right, good. My daughter just got dropped off at baseball, so that's fun. Okay, there goes Tesla up to 380 again. Watch out for the 200 period moving average, of course. Tonight, someone just said in the chat is my, what's up, Ozan? You want that? Okay, Ozan. Ozan's a big guy on my Twitter. Almost 50,000 Twitter followers as well. I want to thank everybody for joining me on Twitter as we put out earnings. We put out some different things. I took little couple notes here on Uber today as well with some revenue. I'm posting all this stuff up on my Twitter. There's a sticky note, some plays that I like. Top 10 trading stocks today on Wall Street Bets. This morning as of February 5th, I posted this up. AMD, Amazon, this is Wall Street Bets today as well. Go look for me there. And then here's all the AI powerhouses. I actually did this. Cloud leaders, right? Infrastructure plays, software beneficiaries. There's Snowflake as well. GitLab, another name. Hardware names that are possibly going to be in problems there. Oracle, Intel, industrial risks with Caterpillar as well and Cummins, okay? So if you want to look at that, at Trader TV Sean, and someone said, is my account suspended? Not as far as I know. Right now, it doesn't mean it will be, but there it is. At Trader TV Sean, pretty plain. Someone also asked me, I also often get lots of messages, nor myself, nor Neil, nor Brendan, nor Darren, nor anybody here are selling anything. So do not. Someone messaged me on Twitter and said, "Was that you on Instagram selling a course?" No, it's not. We're not doing that, man. We don't have anything to sell other than the experience here, and it's completely free. With less than 1 minute to go, look at NVIDIA trying to go back up. NVIDIA with a sell imbalance on it, still upside for NVIDIA. NVIDIA taking out the high of the day. NVIDIA, puff, puff, pass, man. You are on one. Look at the size. There's a lot of size here on NVIDIA. Like, I don't know what's going on. A lot of size on NASDAQ, both sides right now. They're stacking the offer right now on NASDAQ. I've never seen anything like that into the end of the day. So there's traders that are dumping a lot of shares here. Look at this. There's 400, 400, 500. There's just tons and tons. Hey, yeah, there's something going on over here. No, but look, oh, there's another million shares, 100,000 shares on the offer. Sorry, there's a million shares, by the way, on the offer. 3, 2, 1. This is brought to you by Worksport, WKSP on the NASDAQ. Go check out Worksport. Thank you for sponsoring the closing bell. That was awesome to see all that on NVIDIA, by the way. You can see it's still there. On NASDAQ right there. All right, Qualcomm is already out right now. So here comes Qualcomm. Oh boy, Qualcomm, bang, bang. Hey man, this is Neil Nadara's show, not mine. When you're ready, Fabian, I'm ready to go. It is Qualcomm right now. Look at the level 2, over $2, $3 in range right now for Qualcomm. They're starting to go right now. Are we ready? All right, let's go over to the desk then. They have all the numbers. It's the recap show. Thanks everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.
We do have a beat from Qualcomm. Looks like their GAAP revenue projections 10.3 to 11.2. That is going to be a beat. You've got an EPS. The guidance is also a beat. But the pullback, just before we go to the actual top and bottom numbers, the pullback was just $5 now. So it had big buy action, 75 to 85, almost exactly $10 to the upside, and then exactly $5 before it caught a bid. You're already seeing another pullback here. So right out the bat, we've got Qualcomm, big breakout, pullback about 5 or 6% when the expected move was 7 here at Era.
So yeah, what happened here is their guidance pretty strong. The lower end of their Q1 revenue guidance, or Q2, sorry, barely missed analyst estimates. It was 10.34 versus, they said 10.3. Analysts looking for 10.34, but their guide was 10.3 to 11.2, so it's pretty strong overall. Their Q1 revenue, though, was a beat, 3.14 EPS versus 2.96 expected. Revenue, 11.669 bill versus 10.927 bill expected. And here's the thing, too. Not only was their automotive sector at record revenues for 6 quarters in a row, it also was up 61% year over year for automotive, 36% year over year for IoT, 13% year over year for handsets. So they really did beat across the board, Neil.
Yeah, they did, but the market is kind of punishing them. That was one heck of a reversal. It's now underneath where we closed here on Qualcomm. Now it's up because you were up on the day, but there is a hefty pullback now down at 172. This could threaten to go red. There was support at 170 this morning. And then keep in mind on Qualcomm, as we were pointing out, there was overhead resistance at this 180 level. So it was trying to bust through some big resistance here on Qualcomm, still holding a little bit of a bid. So they're not absolutely in love with it. That is one heck of a pullback. Let's see how it settles down. When we have ARM in a couple of minutes, we've got MSTR, okay, I'm just going to say MSTR because MicroStrategy, you know what's up, you know who they are. They're not moving just yet. ARM, however, MicroStrategy is not moving. ARM is on the move already, and it is not good. ARM already heading to the downside. It did have a bit of a bounce. You saw there very late. It was able to push up into 76, but that just pulled back $10 and then another bounce here. I don't have the numbers out yet on ARM, but that's a kind of reaction that seems like it was already, the numbers are already out. Now it's really starting to accelerate. Now you're down 162. ARM is absolutely tanking here down to 160. That was just a 10% move. And the numbers, I don't see them as out just yet, but that is a pretty hefty move into the downside. Could be some sympathy, but this is looking pretty nasty here on ARM. A broken arm, as Shane said. And then MSTR is also out right now. Dare, do you have those numbers?
Yes, they don't really give us estimates. I couldn't find any estimates, but I'll tell you what they reported. So basically, they said here they achieved 74.3% BTC yield for 2024, and then 2.9% yield here for quarter to date 2025. They also revised their BTC yield target to a minimum of 15% for 2025. So, like, higher is supposed to be better here. They also announced their new annual BTC gain target of $10 billion for 2025. So they want their Bitcoin holdings to gain $10 billion for 2025. Also, it's worth noting a lot of what we're expecting from MSTR, including notifications about this branding, they specifically said in the release, we're not going to get till 5 p.m. So I think for a lot of your MSTR, you're just going to have to wait that hour. But like I said, they do not actually give you guys estimates ever for MSTR because they're such an odd, like, unique little company. So we don't really have that. Just be aware of that here. Apparently, currently, they're holding 471,107 Bitcoin. We did okay, so I wasn't seeing any estimates anywhere, but we do apparently have estimates, which they missed on sales anyway. Adjusted earnings of adjusted losses of $3.20 per share. Not seeing how that compares to estimates. Sales a miss 120.697 mil versus 123.248 mil. And let me see if we have ARM quickly here. We're also expecting Symbiotic, but we can go over that one after.
ARM's still looking
less
weak
people
here.
are looking at this. I did get ARM earnings, but I'm not seeing the number. Like, I'm gonna have to comb through this report briefly if you don't mind taking over.
Yeah, no, it's losing an arm and a leg, obviously, here, but there's a little bit of buying coming into the 160 level on ARM. Like you said, you were expecting with them a 10% implied move. So you did get that much in terms of price action. It was able to threaten the top and then pull back. It's been doing well. But right off the 160 level, we're starting to catch a little bit of a bid here on ARM. I mean, MSTR oftentimes, nothing burger, it's going to move with Bitcoin. It's like, what can they say that's going to make it go? I don't know, and it's kind of doing the same thing here again. But with ARM trying to battle back, let's remember here, Qualcomm is still doing a little bit of a dance. It's now failed underneath 175 a couple of times, and both times been bought right back up at the 172 level. So Qualcomm, it's holding on. It's still up despite that hefty pullback. But all the exuberance that was in that initial breakout when the guidance came strong for Qualcomm, a lot of that is starting to come back in here. We've seen this story before, man, where you get that initial buy. They like it. Wait a minute. No, we're taking profits on everything. And you're starting to sell off a little bit here. So that's what we're seeing over in Qualcomm. I like the fact that ARM is going to be recovering a little bit here, Dara. But I don't know if we have any further numbers with them. The other thing worth watching is just to see on response. Remember at the end of the day, Sean was showing you a bunch of selling on NVIDIA. So I would have been concerned if I would have seen that continue to sell off in the aftermarket. It ends up holding out here, still holding about a 5% gain up at the 125. So there's no bleed over in NVIDIA. That selling hopefully not going to threaten it too much tomorrow because this has been one of the better longs for the last couple of days here on NVDA. And just the others, for the others, Amazon is tomorrow, not today. And in the absolute shock, the most important company in America is down 5%. Ford bleeding to the downside here. It hasn't been good for a while on Ford. So it's not just about ARM. It's not just about Qualcomm. I know those are the big ones, but this headed further to the downside. It's at least not as big as the previous or the expected move or the previous move. 7.5 was the implied. Ford is now at its 52-week low and threatening a break any second. As a matter of fact, it just broke by a couple of pennies, Adara.
So I'm seeing Ford right now. Benzinga's kind of behind some of these, so I had to go through the reports for these, which is why it's a little bit delayed. But Ford here, I'm not seeing what compares to estimates, but apparently 3% year-over-year increase in wholesale units. We actually are up year-over-year cash flows from operational activities, up year-over-year on revenue by 5%. We actually had a net income versus net loss last year. Also net income for their margin percentage. EPS diluted also up on a year-over-year basis. So I'm not actually seeing much that is, negative for this. Their free cash flow, though, is lower than the previous quarter. But again, I'm going to have to wait and see if Benzinga gives us these numbers. ARM, though, we just finally got these numbers. I couldn't even find their report. The only thing they had was their shareholder revenue, which didn't even mention earnings. But ARM here now finally giving us the earnings after having us a little bit alarmed when you couldn't find them on their website. Adjusted earnings of 39 cents per share versus 34 expected. Sales of 983 million versus 946.73 million expected. Both of those are hearty beats. The more I see in Ford, I will let you guys know. Some people also want to go over Symbiotic, so I can see if we have that out because I know they were expecting. Yes, okay, so Symbiotic here, SYM. Really quickly while we wait for Ford info. Unfortunately, this is not a very good report. We did get adjusted losses here of 3 cents per share, slightly larger than the expected loss of 2 cents per share. Revenue was also a miss, 486.69 mil versus 490.98 mil. But here's the kicker. Not only did they miss on EPS and revenue, they did unfortunately miss on guidance as well. Guiding Q2 sales in 510 and 530 million, well below the estimates of 535.78 million. So that is a miss on every metric for Symbotic, unfortunately.
Yeah, that pattern we've seen, that is not exactly, that is a very similar chart to what we're seeing on ARM, is that almost a mirror image where you have initial move down, you're trying to bounce and just retested the low. So now twice you have bounced off 158.5 on ARM. Symbotic also taking it a bit on the chin. Short Smeller saying F is for failed on Ford. I suppose it could also be for something else if you're looking at it that way. And Innova Entertainment saying, have a look at apps and we shall. Digital Turbine, there we go. This is what you want to see. Thank you, Digital Turbine. I know you're only a $3 stock, but at least you're up on earnings. Qualcomm's doing okay. But this 37% to the upside. Remember, it's a very, very cheap stock. Digital Turbine is not a big name. It does have a smallish short float at 6%, but that's not going to be the story. It's not a huge short float type of opportunity there. They raised their full year 2025 sales guidance from 475 million to 485 by 10 million, so 485 to 490. So a raise of guidance here. They did beat, turning an adjusted profit of 13 cents versus an expected loss of 1 cent. Sales also beat estimates by, wow, they beat sales 134.5 million versus 123.7 estimates. So that's nearly a 10% beat on rev for Digital Turbine and a raise of guidance. So I guess you had to find a small name to go running. It's a bit of a gap up. This should be worth watching tomorrow for some continuation. Not a heck of a lot looking very good. B-balling, you are correct. Ford did break its 52-week low. It's right there now. It was like 950. Was it 951 or 952? I saw a print down at 46, so it did break it very briefly. You're right back at said low on Ford. Yeah, it looks like apps.
Yeah.
So Digital Turbine's the only one looking very good. Qualcomm not so bad here, Dara. I think the reaction is still relatively positive, even if you've given back. Every time it pops up here and tries to look at the 180 level here on Qualcomm. It pops back up. You failed it once. You've now failed it a second time. Just want to remind everybody, when we looked at this daily chart, it stuck, 180 stuck out like a sore thumb we were talking about in the afternoon show. Well, when you see obvious selling on a stock, you know what has to clear out for the all steam ahead or just the go for the breakout. You need buyers above 180. It's not enough to break a level. There need to be actual buyers and people on the bid, holding the bid above that level, willing to take it. You can break out a level and you have a bunch of stops going off that takes it higher, but if you don't get those buyers above, this is what you get here with Qualcomm.
Yeah, I have Ford here as well. What happened here with Ford? So they did beat on EPS, 39 cents versus 33 expected. Okay, nice beat on sales here, 48.2 bill versus 43.253 bill expected. Casey missed it earlier and it went through their official release. They were up year over year for revenue, but they actually heartily beat estimates as well. Their guidance here, I'm not seeing how this compares to estimates, but they did seem to get bitten by the Mag 7 CapEx spending bug. They're guiding CapEx between 8 billion and 9 billion for fiscal 2025, which is pretty crazy. I'm pretty sure that's bigger than Apple's CapEx last year, if I do remember correctly. I just did a graphic on that, so that is super significant. But adjusted free cash flow, they're seeing between 3.5 bill and 4.5 bill. It's worth noting their adjusted cash flow for 2024 actually was down year over year. And they're also seeing fiscal 2025 EBIT between 7 bill and 8.5 bill. Also, guys, if there's any earnings that anyone has questions about, let me know. I'll try to get them to you. A lot of people are asking about MSTR, and the thing is, there's just not that much to say about it. We did go over the numbers, but it's been pretty stagnant. It did a lot today, though, during the day, so maybe just got a little bit tired. It also has a rebrand, so they're no longer MicroStrategy. They're now Strategy, and their logo, for whatever reason, has a Bitcoin symbol in it now, and it's bright orange, and apparently now there's separate websites for the company itself and for their merchandise. So if you want to buy Strategy merch, I guess you are in luck. I do have a graphic kind of on their whole history with Bitcoin on X, TTV Research. You guys can check that out. But here we do have MicroStrategy Q4, losses of $3.20 per share, sales 120.697 mil versus 123.248 mil. If you guys have any earnings questions, tag me. I will try my very best. No promises, unfortunately, because we've got a lot going on over here, but I'll try my best to get stuff for you. Jay Lee asking for the quarterly EBITDA for Ford. I didn't even see it, and I went through the report, but I'll take another look.
Absolutely. And just if you look at a monthly chart of Ford, it spells an interesting story because you got the 2020 bottom. And if we lose this level, if we lose this area here, the monthly is pretty distinct in terms of the failed break above $20 and, were you to lose this bottom, not looking good. And as you might suspect, with Ford down like this, you're taking a little bit of a haircut on GM, which, by the way, GM, it's not to say, and as some people have been pointing out, it's not like the Ford report on the fundamental level is really that bad. But General Motors had been performing much better relative to Ford on sympathy. They just reported, they just lost the 200-period moving average. You had just clawed back to it today. So GM just clawed right back into its 200-period moving average, only to have Ford come to the downside, and maybe this resumes its trend. So this is maybe a sympathy play. We'll see if there's a rebound. Maybe you can look at that 50-period, or so the 200-period moving average. I like that look for almost any single stock on a day trade. ARM, by the way, I know this is kind of a big one. So it's holding the bid off that 158, 159 again. So another bounce here on ARM. Still down, obviously. And that initial move, the reversal was nasty. So it went up when we had Qualcomm come out. And then just like we've seen time and time again, whoops, I went to go QCOM. If you're taking that initial trade, and I'm talking to anybody that might be trading in the aftermarket, you know the risks, you know that stop orders, not all brokers are going to have them, and there's going to be a lot of slippage. If you are taking these breakout strategies, you better have lightning fast execution to take your profits. Because when it doesn't follow through, it doesn't always do that. Not everything's a Palantir in the earnings game. You will get this kind of a reversal. The slippage can be absolutely nasty. I've seen it happen on a trading floor for sure. And shout out to, thank you, Aldrin and memes in the chat mentioning NVIDIA. So forget about the selling at the end of the day there and that big seller at the close. Looks like NVIDIA wants the highs anyways. Who cares? They're just breaking out. They didn't report. There's no story here with NVIDIA. NVIDIA was just a strong stock today, up 5%. It's been strong for a couple of days now. Reiterated, we love the fact that Google or Alphabet reiterated their CapEx spend. All the big boys are doing it. Expect more of that to come. And NVIDIA looking really good. Even in the aftermarket, it's showing a lot of strength here. And success is inevitable. Great. First of all, that's great if you watch the show. Success is inevitable. If you put in hard work and dedicate yourself, then success can be better trading, better decisions. It can be learning. There's so much that the market can give you. Certainly just learning the basic tools of how the market works is always going to be able to be beneficial to all of us in our long term, whether you trade or not. But I love that name, and you're absolutely right about the implied volume of 6% on MSTR being a trap for options buyers. It is I don't have my it's a trap key. But you heard, actually, there it is. You know what? They did Admiral Akbar wrong in the new movies. Way too big and too cool of a character to go out the way that he did. I'm not happy about it. But as Adara said, the previous move on strategy was 1.1%. The implied move here over 6%. It didn't move last time. It's not moving here. That's the game. And obviously, if you're just losing if you're playing options when there is no move. I think that's obvious for everyone to say, but not a very good look there for them on the day, but ultimately not moving a heck of a lot. And in fact, actually rebounding from the lows. If you look at it since the numbers came out, it might not be doing anything, but at least it's actually better than when the numbers dropped. Not that that's really saying much there, Adara, but MicroStrategy, at least it's not falling any further. But anybody that played options, you can't win when you have that small move.
Yeah, I mean, a couple people here are asking about some earnings that I can go over here.
Yep.
Viking Therapeutics, which is one that, I can't believe we missed this here. Viking Therapeutics Q4 GAAP losses per share here, 32 cents versus 28 cents expected. That's the only metric that I'm seeing from this company. But I'll scan through their report. Apparently, their phase 2 venture oral dosing trial for their obesity drug is underway. They've got a year-end cash position of $903 million here. That's really kind of the only highlights I'm seeing. Someone here asking about COHR. Shout out to Grubbs in the chat. Yeah, so Coherus, this was an earnings name. Coherent Corp. Nice push to the upside. They beat on EPS and they beat on sales. So 95 cents versus 69 expected for EPS. Sales 1.44 bill versus 1.37 bill expected. Not much to say here. It's just kind of a nice push upside. Not a lot of trapping as of right now, which is not always going to happen on earnings. So shout out to Coherent. Then we have our ARAY. This is Accuray. So I'm not seeing much here in this report. Benzinga didn't even give us an earnings summary, which is like pretty rare. But if I just, I'm not seeing a lot of volume here. And I'll tell you, apparently they raised their fiscal 2025 guidance. Their revenue up 8% year over year. Net income actually this year compared to a net loss last year. Pretty small company, so there's not a lot of info on it.
So there's a good question in the chat here, and it was Ashwin Kumar. Why is ARM down? Earnings report is positive. So first things first, someone also said in the chat, why have we not talked about Costco in the last few days? I'm going to rectify that after I talk about ARM, because Costco has been fantastic. ARM has a ridiculously high PE. The valuation has not made sense for quite some time. So a lot of times, it doesn't matter what the numbers are. People are looking forward. I think you want to see gigantic growth. If you're trying to grow into a valuation, then you want to see absolute blowout growth. Whether the numbers are solid, you want to see some kind of a massive guide. Like if you're beating sales by 5%, that's not bad. But you want to have some really big beats for them. Long term, I don't have any issues with them. I think long term, I think the stock will be fine. As a company, will be fine. They're everywhere. You're not making power efficient chips without them to go in all the devices that we use. So they're going to stand to still benefit from that. They're going to benefit from AI to the extent that they can maybe take a little bit of market share here and there. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's about the reaction to rejection of big levels, which we've seen selling on ARM in the 175 to 180 area. So when they don't have massive, massive numbers, if it's just good and not great, sometimes you get punished even if you're good. So that can happen and it gets priced in. But just very quickly on Costco. Costco and Walmart have been running, no question about it. It's been 3 or 4 days in a row that both of these have been good. They're good staple stocks. I love them. It's not like they report or anything, but they got to get their due. I'm a Walmart guy. Okay, well, I don't have a Costco membership, but I own Walmart stock. Nothing against Costco. Just never really got a membership. I used to use Sam's back in the day, but yeah, I love both these names. Pikachu, I choose you, and I choose Walmart. You can own one, you can own both. It doesn't really matter. I find in a sector like this, I'd rather just own one, and they're both absolutely fantastic. The trend is your friend till the end when it bends.
Yeah, sir. I was just gonna say here. Shout out to Fedora the Explorer in the chat. I actually love that name, saying guidance matters on earnings, and indeed it does. I cannot like I said, I had a hard time accessing the report. The only thing I could see online for ARM was they released a shareholder letter, but I did see Shay Ballor, stock savvy Shay on X, who's a really reliable source. He did post these ARM earnings and guidance. So the guidance here, their outlook for sales was just barely a beat. They're guiding 1.24 bill in sales versus 1.23 bill expected for the quarter. The EPS, though, was a miss. 52 cents versus 53 cents expected. So barely a miss. And even that beat there they had was barely a beat. So the guidance really tepid here, sending it a little bit to the downside, and that's to me what I'm seeing here. Also, B. Ballin in the chat was saying, I guess, forward with regards to the 52-week low. I'm seeing, even if, I don't know if Neil said that it went below it or if it just hit it, it wicked near it. I'm seeing a wick of $9.34. Also, Sean James asking about my girl Lily. It's an Eli Lilly today. No, she's not. She's tomorrow. And I actually, if we have time, I would love to chart her out here.
Go get it.
Okay, thank you.
Get it, Adara.
Oh, appreciate it. Shout out to Sharif there. So I have a level on Lily that I want to talk about. And it's going to be, wait, this is forward still. I was like, why is this saying $10? But Eli Lilly has a level. Oh, okay, let's look at this. So I'm going to talk here about this earnings reaction that we had going back on October 30th when it did report its earnings for Q3 2024, and I have an eidetic memory. That's how I'm able to just remember this off the top. You can see here we get to a high of 860, we wick it, we lick it, and then we drop to the downside. We've not been able to get there since then, and all of these attempts here to get to these 846s, and I know someone who was long into one of those breaks one day, you get to 846 and you can't hold it. Even today, doing almost the same thing. We get to that 846. I watched it too. Gets to 846, can't hold 846. So if we gap up, I would like to see us hold and bounce off of 846 and or 860. Those are levels I'm looking for. To the downside, I think that 800 level, 802, is a pretty good look. But again, I think that the upside to me, just given the way that we've kind of been trending with these slightly higher low from on a wider term basis. But that's my take here on Lilly. That 846 I think is crucial as someone who does a lot of order book reading as well for the spreadier ticker. So that's my look on Lily, and thank you for letting me wax poetic about my girl.
No problem whatsoever. That's what we are about, waxing poetic about stocks. It is what we do, so we don't mind talking about anything, and that includes Reddit, Thunderbird, because Thunderbird keeps asking why we're not talking about Reddit. Just a quick question for you. They don't report tonight. They're a great-looking stock, but Walmart and Costco are great-looking stocks on the chart that didn't report either, so we can talk about it. But I'd like to know, Thunderbird, just answer in the chat. Is your name related to the stunt plane group? Because that's like the American, the Thunderbirds, right? Is that the reason you picked that name? Just kind of curious. My cousin was a pilot. He actually loved them. But anyways, look, Reddit's a great stock. They report next week. So you come back a week from now, exactly 1 week from now, you will see me sitting in this same chair. Adara will be sitting in her chair, and we will be waxing poetic about Reddit because they are reporting. Oh wait a minute, they're reporting exactly next Wednesday. So I don't know what time it is, but I'm sure it'll be out by now. Probably 4:05, 4:10, 4:15, one of those. My concern, I said this with regards to Reddit when we were talking about Palantir, is when you have a trend up like this. If you get a really big blowout, I'd be careful about profit taking on day two. Like if there's a big gap up day one on Reddit, I would be scared of day two. That's the wrong word. I would be more willing to short on day two. I was very unwilling to look at Palantir shorts today, and I think that was a bit of a mistake because you had that big move, and when it couldn't really carry through, you had the good long early. That was a lower high double take and a really good short setup after failing the high. Like it failed a pre-market high break a couple of times, and then it just sort of trended down. There were some longs off 100, but if I see Reddit do some kind of 10% plus move on day one, I'm going to look for that setup on day two, just based on the way that the stock has been so parabolic here on the daily. So that's more of a preparation for next week as a day trader than anything else. I'm going to go back and, we only have a few minutes to go here. So just to recap. Seriously, Qualcomm? You can't hold the bid? All right, Qualcomm, that's not cool, man. Qualcomm was you were actually holding the bid here. I was going to recap, like Qualcomm, the only name that was holding the bid and looking okay on the big cap names. Nope, back into the red. You just lost 170, continuing lower. So whomever is selling the 200 period and the 180 level on Qualcomm is still winning. There's some nice support here, at least locally at the 168. Maybe we can look at that tomorrow. Then, of course, there was ARM, or is ARM. This is at least holding that bid off the 159, 160 area, bouncing back into 165. So it's not all doom and gloom for ARM there. And MSTR, which we did say, as Adara mentioned, not really moving a lot, but it is bouncing back up at 340. So not a lot of volatility, which we kind of expected, as Adara was pointing out to everybody, and good luck for everybody that happens to be trading it. But the options expectation move 6.5% when last time it was 1. I guess some people kind of saw that one coming, and hopefully there's some activity tomorrow. It's always fun to trade when MSTR is moving. Just not seeing a heck of a lot of movement in it right now.
No, and that I will say that 346 level on MSTR. I don't know why, I don't know how, but there's been interesting area of interaction just for what I've noticed here with my eyeballs as someone who likes to be apprised and keep watching what this market is doing. But also Qualcomm. I'll go over these earnings again here for people. Basically, they did beat here, adjusted earnings pretty heftily as well. Beat nicely on revenue too. And then I'm not seeing how their guidance compares to estimates, but they did. I was seeing. So their guidance, the lower end of their Q2 revenue guidance, just slightly below estimates. They guided 10.3 bill to 11.2 bill. Analysts were looking for 10.34 bill. So they barely missed in the lower end of their guidance, and the midpoint would certainly beat those estimates. But non-GAAP revenue here, they're seeing 10.2 bill to 11 bill. So I guess that's a little bit more of a miss. And then their non-GAAP EPS actually beat across the board. So guidance could be construed as a little bit weaker than expected for that, especially the non-GAAP revenue.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty close to estimates. And again, the midpoint's going to beat no matter what. The other thing with MSTR, I'll tell you guys what I'm excited about. I want to hear about how they justify their $10 billion Bitcoin yield goal for 2025. I want to know how they justify that. And also, I want to see that branding. I want to know why they're bright orange. I want to know why there's a Bitcoin symbol. I want to know why they need a website just for merch. I have questions. Like, Michael, give us the goods here. Tell us what your strategy is going to be, because right now it seems a little bit unsure, and if it's entirely based on orange colors and the Bitcoin symbol, I got questions.
That is, as far as that is the strategy. I think they've got a formula and they're sticking to it. I just don't understand why. Just go all in. Just make it. Don't call yourself strategy. Just call yourselves Bitcoin strategy. Just get it out of the way, and that's the branding that you need. I got to throw it. Oh, just one quick second. Crypto FOMO. That salad was absolutely delicious. There were not dates in the salad, but it was a great salad today, and that chicken was delicious as well. As when I came on the midday show, everyone saw it. I really did enjoy it that much. It was that good. Nimrod, another super chat. Thank you so much. Neil and Sean introduced me to her when she was just Eli Lilly, $758, and you're in love ever since. Go Lily. At first, I didn't know what you were talking about, but then I saw 758 before I read the Lily part. And then I know you're mentioning Eli Lilly. I'd swear it was closer to I thought it was more at the 7/4, but I could be wrong about that. But great look as always, Nimrod. But let's slap that infographic up, because that's a good one before we head into roll call.
Yeah, we're gonna head into roll call, but I want to share this. And in case you guys are like, Adara, why did you find the most unflattering photo of Michael Saylor? This is the one on his official website, which is why I chose it. So I'm like, if this is how he chooses to represent himself, I want to honor that. There were a couple of him smiling, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the one on his website. Anyways, here's a real quote that he said about Bitcoin, calling it the swarm of cyber hornets serving the goddess of wisdom. And basically, I didn't realize strategy has really only been involved with Bitcoin for like 5 years. I would have thought it was a lot longer. They only started getting involved here in around Q3 2020, but then they really upped their buying. Like, they only started doing these multi-month billion-dollar plus purchases in like when we hit new all-time highs in November. Like the escalation of their purchases is really recent. And of course, if you missed it, Michael Saylor speaking virtually at Microsoft's conference is amazing. He definitely still has the link to that PowerPoint and his prepared video on YouTube. So definitely if you look up Michael Saylor Microsoft, I'm sure you can find it. But yeah, what a guy. Goddess of Wisdom has certainly grown here since he first got involved, because his black line is the price of Bitcoin. So I wanted to pay a little homage to this man in honor of the earnings and their rebrand. And fun fact, I actually started making this graphic before they announced the rebrand, so we had to change some colors and some words. But here he is. This is Michael, and this is his Bitcoin baby.
And you know what? We had Pedro in our chat in the afternoon show when I was making comments about MicroStrategy. I said, I don't get it. I invest in Bitcoin. I hold Bitcoin. I'm going to stick with that. I don't see a compelling reason to want to be in MicroStrategy. And I even said, and Pedro was like, well, if you don't get it, you shouldn't talk about it. And that's exactly why I said I don't get it. If anybody has some really, really good reading on explaining why MicroStrategy is a good long-term strategy, is a good long-term strategy, just DM me. I have plenty of time. Well, I don't have plenty of time. I actually don't have a lot of time, but I love to read on the train. So when I do have time, I love to read. I'm always willing to learn, and everyone should be willing to learn. And that's why it leads me to this. Because when we do roll call, it's always a big shout out to the entire team here. And if you don't know what it is, that's where Adara is going to read your name rapid fire in the chat. But if you're not a part of the community, and specifically the chat, then you don't get to partake in not just the knowledge on a daily basis, but the fun we get to have, things like this roll call, being able to ask questions, get them answered. I see people answering questions from each other in the chat, even when we don't get to them. It's a fantastic community. Make sure you hit the like, especially hit the subscribe, share it with your friends, get us to the 500K so we can all learn together. And with that, I want to give a big thank you to our entire team, the Bash Brothers we got Sharif, of course, and Joe. We've got Fabian, Ramin, we've got Andre with our socials. Big shout out to my man Sean, Obi, who will be coming back when I have a day off for one of my daughter's things this week. And a big shout out, of course, to Brendan and Adara, doing a fantastic job on the news desk. Adara, you're absolutely kicking butt with it. And thank you so much to Bears vs. Bulls, the best moderator in the business. Let's get our roll call on.
Yeah, thank you very much there to Bears vs. Bulls. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to Neil, Sean, Brendan. We got Joe. We have Sharif. We have Fabian, Ramin, Andre, and we have all of you guys in the chat. We got NYC Urbanista, Mike Breeze, Bud C, Juan Padilla, Wall Street Only, Ron Miller, JV Mo, Draculus. We've got Saul G, Film World, Mrs. Pelosi, I like that one. Andrew Bakes Cakes, Rel Del Papa. We have Bora Hout, KNT, Robbie V, Daryl Finch, The Piper, D. Westemeyer. We have Tyrone Hamilton, Johnny H, X-Dami. We've got Ozan, shout out to the cow thing. John London, Atef Dabbit. We've got Poor Robin Hood. We have Grav. We have Escape Planet, Mr. Briggs, Aldrin. We have Nimrod. Thank you so much for all the super chats. Diggity Risk, no diggity there. We have Yatube, Joseph Brown. Lasmel, Nick Cannon, Pineapple Undies, Mike Spadafora, Paul Rogers, Sir MM, Adrian, Moosecap, Tyrone Hamilton. I'll end there, guys. Thank you so much for being here with us. And tomorrow, you know, one of my favorite tickers reports tomorrow morning. We have lots of other earnings. We've got Amazon tomorrow night, another earnings party, I believe. You're going to have Sharif up there, to my knowledge anyway. So check that out. Make sure you check it out. We're back tomorrow, 8:30 a.m.
Yeah, big one. As you said, tomorrow morning, Eli Lilly before the bell, Amazon after the bell,
Yeah.
Peloton as well. There's going to be movers, there's going to be shakers. We'll be right there to cover it for you. Why? Because we're Trader TV Live, and we're here every day the market is open. We'll see you tomorrow at 8:30. Bye, guys. And the Obi shot.